I probably shouldn't say this, but he said,
Oh, goodness.
if you...
I remember that your last podcast, things I can't unhear.
So, yeah. So
thanks for joining us today back at Gregg's Cool Kids Club. I am thrilled and honored to be here.
Welcome back to the race
This
shop.
has never happened before. I've interviewed some pretty dang cool people, including, gosh, not too many weeks ago, Mr. Casey Powell. And in fact, we kind of became friends after that. And every time I'd run my hot rod, I'd look down, there's a text from Casey, like, oh my God, he's encouraging me, which doesn't happen very often. So I thought, this is really cool. So we kind of became friends and started talking about his kids. And guess who's here today, kids, is his family's here. So I am so thrilled and so honored to have you all. So Mr. Powell, you want to introduce your family to everybody?
Sure, absolutely. This is my eldest daughter, Carolyn Lee. We call her Carrie.
Very good.
She is married to another top fuel racer,
That's right.
Joe Hartley.
Mr. Hartley, welcome. Thank you so much for being
And
here.
the baby of the bunch, CRISTEN Powell.
CRISTEN Powell, who made a lot of noise in drag racing.
Yes, indeed.
More than a
Made a
little
lot
bit.
of noise, a lot of places.
A lot of places. So we're just thrilled to have you guys here. So it's so bizarre to think that I've got 3 top fuel drivers here in my studio that we get to talk about racing and some cool stories, and a couple that weren't quite as cool, but they ended okay, but stories nonetheless of things these guys have accomplished. And I'm absolutely honored that you guys would be here with us today. It's just so cool. So we had, when you came down, you brought your pit pass drinks. We talked about that. In fact, you weren't going to, but because you stopped it out on the way down.
I had to be careful to eat something before I could drink anything.
So you stopped and got an In-N-Out burger. And so showed up like, oh, this is awesome. And I realized, crap, I hadn't talked to him about this regarding you guys. So I called him, you guys are already on your way. And he goes, I know the rules. So he says, I've got mine and Kristen has hers. So we're going to start with you, young lady, if you don't mind.
Oh, I'm ready for this.
And so what did you bring us?
Ingredients for a dirty or filthy, if you will, martini.
Dirty martini. I've had those. Those
We
are
got
awesome.
some Grey Goose and some olives.
Olive juice, that's what goes in. So we need some ice.
We would love ice.
We would love ice. Here we go. We can hook you up.
I would think some people watching this would be mortified to see 17-year-old drag racing Kristen Powell making a cocktail.
Yeah. Not so 17
Yeah, not so
anymore.
17.
Not quite as 17 as we used to be.
I have a few
funny.
cocktails like under my whatever.
You're going to have one too, Casey, I trust?
Yes, I am going to have a
Very
sweet
good.
Robert.
All right, here we go. So
Okay.
you get to mix and make, kiddo.
Awesome.
Right.
Have some of this
Now, what are
water
you
here.
going to have?
I'm sorry?
Which one are you going to have? You're going to have the martini?
Yeah, we'll start with that and then we'll move to yours.
Oh,
Heck yeah.
I'm not having a martini.
And I'm
Oh,
not
you're
having a
not?
sweet
Okay.
Rob Roy.
There we go.
Well, that's fine. You guys can do whatever you want, but I'll start with one of these with you.
Okay.
And so you brought the Rob Roy again.
Yes.
That was a drink I'd never heard of and never had, but it was awesome. So
Yeah,
I'm glad
I
you
like
brought
it.
it back.
I
It was
like
great. So please go ahead. So this is just a goofy gimmick thing that I started
love it.
when we did this, and I mentioned that I've got some friends at the track that when we drink, they drink. And well, as long as you're not driving,
Well,
that's
tell
a
them where
good
the
thing.
cool kids came from.
That's right. Oh, so
They know him too.
Reinhardt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So when he'd be announcing and you'd haul ass and go to the top of the field, he said, well, so-and-so is part of the cool kids club now because they hauled ass and were.
Nope, nope, nope.
Oh, you just don't want dirty.
I don't want a martini.
Oh,
I'm
no.
having a
We
Rob
get
Roy.
to
I'm
split
sorry.
this.
Beautiful.
That's a hell of a problem.
I can take it if you guys don't
Oh,
want
hey,
Sold.
sharing is
Sold.
caring right here.
That was a hard sell.
Yeah.
I hope you guys like dirty. Would you like olives? Would you like me to not
We're good.
put my fingers all over it? We're just going to do it without olives for now.
That's
if
fine.
Anyone,
So we need to start somewhere here at the beginning, figure this out about how you all, I know how, some of his story in his beginning, which were humbling and interesting, where he started from. Yours were probably a little less humbling by the time you guys came around. He made a couple dollars along the way, I guess, but nonetheless, you got into drag racing because of what he had done and exposure to that, or how did it come together?
Well, I feel like it should start with Carrie, because Carrie actually got into motorsports way before I did.
Okay.
And that's part of what got me into it.
Really?
Yeah, I think we started going racing when I was really young.
She was my racing buddy Now, I quit racing when my wife was pregnant with Carrie. I said, I'm not going to race anymore because back in those days, people didn't die in race cars as much as they got really maimed and crippled. And, it was really bad. So I said, I'm not going to race anymore. So I quit, and I walked away and never went back to a drag race, ever. Right? And
You didn't have withdrawals or anything.
No,
Wow.
for real though, we all understand. Anyone that's watching and listening and understands this is an addiction.
It
And
is.
you can't just, like, it's
Cheers,
cold
cheers,
turkey.
cheers.
It's not something that you can put on every other weekend and hope that you can be okay. It's
Right.
just, it's all or nothing.
Yes.
So it's in the
Yeah.
blood, it's
It
in
is.
there.
Yeah. Wow. Speaking of what you just said about getting burned up, back in 2008, I had the opportunity to go out with Darian, and he had both of the younger Force girls that he was teaching to drive the field
Yeah.
car, and he was having. Ironically, we didn't think Brittany. We thought she was going to be a school teacher because she was not the world's greatest driver then. Well, she got over that problem pretty quick. She's been a world champion about 50 times. It's just unbelievable, the progress. The point is, I remember going with them, with Courtney and Brittany and all the Force entourage. When we go out for dinner at the end of the day, we're at this Mexican restaurant, and John's at the end of the table, and we're all lined around. He says, girls, you guys make reservations at the Mexican restaurant for 6 o'clock. That's not the way it was when I was driving. I made reservations at the Burn Center at 6 o'clock. That's what you were talking about. 'Cause he was on fire a lot.
Oh yeah, we said when I told John that Kristen wanted to go funny car racing, he said
Yes.
girls can't drive
Yeah,
funny cars.
I remember that.
But it wasn't because they couldn't drive. It was
No.
because they can't go through a fire and lose their pretty face. That
Right.
was what he was worried about.
Right.
Well, he learned all about that later on.
Yes.
Because Ashley, then I
Yes.
mean they all.
Yeah, and Britain in the top fuel car, but the other two in funny car, Ashley did great and Courtney
Oh,
did great.
yeah.
Things that progressed back
Yeah.
when you were driving. I don't think you guys
Safer.
had the shield that was around your hands. That was part of the problem. The fire's coming
Yeah.
through.
No.
Thankfully, you weren't on
I
fire.
don't,
Well,
even,
yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
A shield around
Yeah.
the hands?
I know.
It,
I,
co-
wow.
it comes
Very
all the way
comes
around
around.
you.
Yeah.
All- I mean, it's like
But
to
within the
here.
funny car.
In the funny car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it was just wide
In front of God and
open.
everybody with the two little fire
Yeah,
windows there.
it was wild. But I feel, well, who knows, but I think there was a little bit of reservation with the tune-up. Like, Clover would blow me up all the time, right?
Yes.
Everybody did.
Hi, Mike.
Everybody did.
No, but it was in the top fuel car. I remember actually the video from Englishtown. I don't know if we have it today, but where I said I remember being on fire a little bit because I think I just didn't even know what was going on. But you could see the flames creep around. But the funny car, I think people were. It was a little, let's not blow Kristen up, and
Yeah.
I think maybe I was a little reserved too. Who knows? Probably not.
Probably not.
But yeah, that was ever conscious of that. I mean, I drove for Epler. He had some really nasty burns on him, so it was definitely there.
Yeah.
But also, it was an idiot teenager who
Who could do
thought I was
anything,
invincible.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I remember those days. That's really cool, though. Okay, so let me show a couple pictures here to provide some context. My old guy glasses on, so I can see what the heck we're talking about.
I
I was
can't
thinking
wait.
about what you were saying about getting into it, and part of why I said Carrie is I remember I was 12 when I went to my first drag race, not just to watch, and I thought it was so boring, and I'm like, can we go back to the pool? Can we? And yeah, it wasn't really captivating me too much, but you were into it.
Yeah, we went to Indy racing and Formula One racing.
Oh, wow.
And it was incredible. And I remember just being captivated by the
Wow.
sounds. And
Wow.
I remember going to the Stroh's G.I. Joe's 200
Oh, wow.
back when I must have been 10 or 12.
Wow.
And I loved it. That's what my dad and I
Well,
did.
and then the other thing that happened was at Sequent, we started to sponsor cars. That was way before Kristen started to drive. So we
Okay.
sponsored Michael Brotherton. I had
Really?
Yeah.
what happened was we were selling computers and pretty expensive computers.
Yeah.
And one of the companies that we were taking care of was Wiltel,
Yes. I
Williams
remember that.
Telecom. And what they did was the CEO of that company was a really smart guy. He actually put cables through all of the oil tunnels throughout the United States and was able to service, a network. And they used our computers to manage those
Oh,
networks.
wow.
And so he he was sponsoring Michael Brotherton. And he said, I want you to come to a race. I want you to come to Seattle. It's right near you. And I'll set up a hospitality center. You can come up there and you can really enjoy. I said, I don't go to drag races.
Really?
I said, my daughter and I, we go to all kinds of races, but I don't go to drag races. He said, oh, come on, you got it. And then he said, if you, I probably shouldn't say this, but he said, if you.
I remember that your last podcast, things I can't unhear.
So yeah, he said, if you come to the hospitality center, I'll set it all up for you, and if you sponsor I want you to give me $300,000 to sponsor the car.
Wow.
And if you do that, I'll buy enough computers so you can offset it, right? Because these computers were selling for like $1 million back
Oh
then.
my gosh.
And
wow.
so I'll offset.
Yeah.
So you could have the money to
Right.
to recoup. So
But we
we
went to our first drag race, and we never went back to a Formula One race.
Is that
We
right?
never, ever. Right?
Well, no,
we
that's 'cause
never
I
went
started-
back to a round car race.
Yeah.
Ever.
started
It's
to
like
sponsor
this.
cars right after that.
Yeah.
Started to sponsor cars immediately after that. We actually bought. I think we had the first hospitality trailer.
Ever.
Really?
Yeah, at the races, what happened was, for Sequent, I bought two trailers from Porsche. They would take those trailers to the track, along with a bunch of cars, and people would go out and drive the cars. Then they would set the trailer up, one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast, set the trailer up to do a driving school for the participants.
Wow.
And it was a tractor trailer, and it opened up on both sides, had slide outs on
Yeah,
both
yeah, yeah,
sides,
yeah.
okay, and had bathrooms in the back, men's room, and ladies' room, and then a
Wow.
complete kitchen, and everything set up inside. So we turned one of them into a demonstration truck for our computer systems, and the other one
By day.
we took.
We won't even get into what happened at night.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
Those are the stories we
there
want.
were some, because this was
Drag
like,
racers
this
are
was
just, I'm
drag
telling you.
racers at night in a big area. God knows what's going to happen, but
Pretty good idea.
You just turn them on.
it was so much fun. It was so much. It was like the true family,
Yes.
like of the
Yes.
people who would
Yes.
race and be up against each other
Yes.
during the day,
Yes.
and like want to kill each other.
Yes.
And these people are family at night.
Yes.
So none of that shit mattered.
That's right.
So family came together at night. We all had a blast at the track, but that's when family came together, was at night.
It's
And
what-
make
past
bad
time.
choices.
And make horrible choices.
that you'll repent
Horrible
for tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
But that's exactly what we talk about. Is when I'm out there, I'm gonna do everything I can to rip your heart out right through your fun parts, and I'm gonna try to kick your ass.
Yeah.
But the moment you cross that finish line ahead of me,
Yeah.
it's over.
It's
and
over.
I'll pull parts off my car to get you to the
Get
next
you
round.
the next round. Absolutely.
That's what we do. So I think it was Dwayne Shields come up with a sticker I saw on Joey's car years ago now, but it said, in our world, enemies for 5 seconds, friends for life. And there's just a lot of truth in that.
That's a good.
You were talking about Federline, Steve Federline, now,
Yeah.
God rest his soul, and Patty's gone too now, but he was a fierce competitor.
Oh, yeah.
And I was so new, I barely knew which end of the car went down the track first, but I learned that he would run his car against you very different on Saturday than Sunday. Sunday, he's trying to kill you, and it was different. So you caught on and learned how to race. So it was very fierce. We're headed to Seattle in my dually and 45-foot triple axle trailer that was way bigger than that dually should pull. And son of a gun, we don't throw a tire off within 10 miles of the track, as we did a lot. And I'll never forget seeing that Impatience Racing semi go by at 70 miles an hour. And as soon as he went by and saw it was me, the brake lights come on. And it took him a half a mile to stop, but he stops, pulls off on the side, and the backup lights come on. And he backs up all the way to me to see what he could do to help me.
Sure.
They were gold. They were my safe
Incredible.
haven.
Incredible.
Those two took you in.
Yeah.
And they were parents to you.
Yeah.
She
They
would
really
hide
were.
out with them at the track.
Yeah.
Wow.
What happened was, Kristen was so young when we went
Yeah.
to run Top Fuel.
She
Yeah.
wasn't 17. She
Well,
was
she was.
much younger.
She was 17
Well,
when she
Top
did
Fuel,
when
yes.
she started Top Fuel. She's the only, as I said to you before, she was the only driver who ever concurrently held a Top Fuel license and a junior dragster license at exactly the same time, because you had to
Crazy
be.
looking license, so we know what the designation is on the
So-
back. Like,
I'm
So-
versatile.
So
slow or go, we can do them all.
So when we went to the track, it was, we raced, and But then all of a sudden, you know, she started to do well, and people knew who she was. They'd come up to us, and we'd be at a restaurant, and they'd start coming to the table, and you know, so there was so much pressure on her. She would run and hide with all the super comp people she knew,
wow.
and she'd hide out. And I think
That was her home.
that was it.
was her
That
home.
was-
And I think I didn't know how to have good boundaries. I was just a kid.
Just a kid.
And then I think some of the fanfare and stuff that was so overwhelming the first
Yeah.
few years, like
Yeah.
the last few years when we were kind of wrapping up,
Yeah.
that's what I was really loving. Just kind of like all the BS aside, just sitting with the fans and hanging. And then I think I thought over the years, oh man, if I could race again, like I would approach it so differently with this maturity.
Yeah, but you've got maturity now that wasn't possible when you were just a kid.
Yeah, I suppose.
hard to put those
I try to
together.
not be too mature. That's boring.
Yeah, I would think so. Wow. That's awesome though. That's fantastic. Anyways, I get the relational deal. We're trying to whoop each other pretty badly, and then we party together, and I'll pull parts out.
Well,
of
the
my
top
car,
fuel
out of my
guys
car.
didn't like it when Kristen
Oh,
got,
no.
got in a car. Didn't like it at all.
Some were
Some were
very
really
kind.
great, and some were
Very
really not.
few were
Selzy
really
stands
great.
out as
Selzy's was
Selzy
am-
was
very
Selzy was
kind.
amazing.
Corey.
Clay
Corey McClenathan,
Yep, Clyde.
Gary Selzy.
But there were others that
Corey
were less.
to the like his whole team, not just
Yeah.
Corey, his whole team.
But they started out as family, and in fact, there was one year they'd have wanted been toward the top, except they missed a race for scheduling reasons or whatever. And if they'd have just gone to the race and qualified, we've done extremely well. So yeah, they're good people. And then there's others that are not so much so. You know, something I want to know. We have this super. I need to show the picture. So you in the super comp car, and this says '95, and so was that first car you drove in down the racing track, or?
How old were you here, Kristen,
I
in
was
95?
16.
No, I'm
16?
kidding.
So I went to Frank Hawley's drag
Yeah.
racing school.
Yeah.
So prior to this, it was my father and I went down to Gainesville, and it was the day before my 16th birthday. Started Frank's school, and then
Wow.
it was a 2-day class, and then on the third day you get your license. So I got my super comp license the day after I turned 16.
Wow.
Did not have I had a permit, which is kind of when I got into drag racing.
Yeah.
I was like,
So it was
driving.
15.
Driving.
Driving's cool.
But yeah, so then I got my license, maybe it was a Wednesday or a Thursday, and then Saturday, by the time I was back in Portland, I got my Oregon driver's license. And then we started doing this very soon thereafter. So I was 16 here.
Wow.
Well, it's kind of interesting because we were Sequent was sponsoring both Connie and Scott Coletta. That car you have over there, yeah.
And
And
the die cast that, and you pointed that out.
and so what happened was
it's awesome.
we went down.
Very cool.
We went down for the
Sequent.
weekend to see the race, and it got rained out. So then she went to driving school. Now the guys were working on the cars because they stayed there all week because they had to race the following weekend.
Right.
So she finished the school, went over, and the Oberhofer boys were both working for Coletta then.
Yes.
And Kristen went up and said, I'm going to drive Top Fuel. And they said, oh, really?
Oh, isn't that cute?
They said, so what did you just run in your Super Comp class? She said, oh, I went 155 in 8.5 seconds. And they said, wow, you're right there. All you got to do is double the mile an hour and half the ET, and you're right there.
Yeah.
And
She actually was the last person to race against Scott and beat him
really?
at Pomona that year. When she was driving Top Fuel, and then he moved into funny cars.
Yeah.
So she actually beat him at Pomona.
I'll be done.
Like the guys in the school, they called me Gilly Gill.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
New England guys, I think.
Boston,
Gilly Gill.
guys from
And
Boston,
they were very similarly like, oh, that's so cute. She's going to race Top Fuel. And then they came to a race.
They came to the races, yeah.
One day, and they're like, clearly you don't know the family.
Yeah.
Like, when we say we're going to do something, we shall.
Yeah. Okay, but you didn't go from Super Comp to Top Fuel. There was an interim in between
Correct.
where
I know we're like, oh, who is that child?
That reminds me of Guy. I feel like Guy took that picture.
Well, that was the weekend we went to Topeka.
I think that was the weekend No, that wasn't the weekend we met you. We went to the races to kind of scope it out first, right?
Well, what we did was we went down. I said, hey, you've done enough supercomp driving. Got to go fast.
Whatever, we blew up the engine.
In a Supercomp car? Wow, you got to try
We
to
had
do
an
that.
alcohol-injected supercomp car.
Yeah.
Blew a hole in it, and Dad's like, "So you wanted to step up to alcohol, right?"
So,
Yes,
so
I
what happened
did.
was, I knew Marshall Topping had lost his father,
Yep.
and he stopped racing, and so I called him and said, hey, you want to run your car, and how about letting my daughter drive it? He said, well, bring her down here. We'll put her in it and see what happens.
Again, how adorable.
I brought her down to California. He put her in the car. And he told me later. He said, I figured I'd fire it up and she'd get scared and go home.
Yes.
And she didn't.
But we're talking A-Fuel now.
We're talking A-Fuel now,
Which is
yeah.
a huge
And
step up
and
from
had
Super
the-
Duper
and
Comp.
he had the national record holding car
Yes.
too.
Yeah, that thing was
So
fast.
Got my license at Woodburn.
So we came up the
I
next
remember that.
weekend.
Yeah.
I brought the
remember
car
that.
up to Woodburn, and she got her license. And then the week after that, we went to Topeka.
Wow.
She qualified number 1,
Oh
Yeah.
my God. That's awesome.
but then smoked the tires.
Yeah.
Ah, the nemesis
So
of these
is
darn
the
things.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the time that we met the Hartleys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When we were running
Yeah.
full time.
That's really cool. So you moved from Supercomp to A-Fuel. You weren't in A-Fuel very darn long. You decided, screw this. Let's go all the way, put a blower on it. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, she spent 2 years.
Like the latter 4 races in '95,
And then
all of
96.
'96, and then that's when.
And in the last race, we set the national record,
Yeah.
which stood for 18 months, I might add.
That's awesome. And
And-
544, as I recall.
544 with a 3. Yep.
With a 3.
And
That's awesome. There's so many things, since I've got an A-Fuel car, I'm way more aware. There's so many things that have changed. They're so different now
Oh, yeah.
than what happened then. And we don't go all that much faster, but they pulled the nitro percentage away from us too. But nonetheless, there's a lot of technology difference and safety stuff that we have now.
I'll say the transition to Top Fuel from A-Fuel, and I'd be interested in your perspective, was way smoother than Super Comp, and we had a fast Super Comp car.
Oh, we did.
It did not
yeah.
just go 890.
No, I saw that.
But
in
it
sevens.
was, I hit, not this one, the previous picture, like I hit the throttle and then I was like, what in the heck just
Yes.
happened? But then going to, I think I went to like Paul Smith School and did the Top Fuel, and it was the same routine, which
Yes,
is
helps.
very helpful, but also it wasn't like,
Yeah. So, okay, I've got a couple questions. Since I've driven A-Fuel, I have some idea. I remember licensing the A-Fuel car, God, even the alcohol car, which was not very fast at all. I licensed with a 619 or something. That was in 96. It did not go fast. But if all you'd ever driven down the track was a dually, right, 6 seconds seemed pretty damn fast. I can remember having your body be quite a ways down track and your brain still at the starting line going, what the heck just happened? And the more seat time you get, that you bring that together where you're present all the way. But it takes a while.
Takes a little bit.
Yeah, for that to happen.
where you see the Christmas tree, you're like noticing it as
Yes.
it's going by you.
Then now you're a driver.
Yeah, right.
As opposed to, where the hell am I? Well, that's not a good driver. You kind of need to know where you're
Like
at.
earlier when I said my eyes were open in that
Yes.
picture, like,
Yeah, it's awesome. Okay.
Well,
Funny.
Kristen constantly makes fun of me by asking me, what's the fastest
She
you ever
doesn't
went?
do that to you. She would never.
Oh,
I
really?
only do it when you're not around.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
abusive to our
So,
father.
but when I started driving, we had Goodyear 490s. They were smoking tires. There was no sliding clutches.
Something had to give, and it was
Right?
the tires
Yeah,
then.
it was the tires.
Right.
And we didn't have very big fuel pumps. We had, so the cars didn't go that fast.
No.
I drove. Jimmy King loaned us the tires that M&H made that grew for the first time I ever
Oh,
drove.
wow.
But I was the computer.
Right.
I would go back and tell the crew chief this is
Yes.
what the car did. Walk them through the whole run. Now, that run, I remember, we ran 237, and it was the AHRA national record, but we couldn't back it up. But
Oh, wow.
but that car, it felt like you could feel the car grow
Yeah.
and slingshot
Like
down
another
the track.
gear.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the golden era. I grew up watching those cars, and it was amazing. But when they finally come up with the clutch that slide instead of the tires that slide, things got a little quicker.
Well,
That
and
bigger
then
fuel
what
pumps.
happened was, as soon as they came with a sliding clutch, they stopped smoking the tires.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to book dragsters in anymore, so everybody took the motor out of their hot rod and put it into a funny car. That's
you
what
get
we
booked
did.
for a
We
match
ran the
race.
New Yorker funny car then.
That's right. I remember that. That's crazy. Okay. I want to go back to transitioning from A fuel to top fuel, and you say that it wasn't as, my word, dramatic as maybe it was from Supercomp to A fuel. But let me interject a couple things. So I know that Brandon Bernstein drove for Jerry for a year or two, and he did a very credible job. Put him in the top fuel car, and it wasn't long. They overdrive it, and he ends up on the wall, and it screwed his back up, and he's never been the same. He's not the only one that you can't drive them the same way. Once they take the tire off and they want to get back on them too soon, the tire's not stuck again, and bad, am I wrong? Bad things happen.
Less forgiving, for sure.
Way less forgiving. And yet, that you didn't struggle with much of that. It worked well for you.
I mean, I struggled with a lot. I think the 97 year and 98, where Mike Klober tuned and I drove, we had a really special connection.
That's
like,
cool.
You talk about, I think you said something that made me think of this, but like we had this weird language where I would just say things. I didn't know mechanics. I did actually, because A fuel, I wrenched on the car, but I didn't know it. I didn't tune. So I would say like, I don't know, Mike, I kind of like lost interest after 1,000 feet. And he would go, that's all I needed, thank you. And he would go tune it up. But like we had this, like Mike and I were magic. And
that's cool.
And so I think it was a combination that I never really had. I worked with other crew chiefs, and I think we did quite well. And but
you guys were like siblings in a weird way. Like he would agree, I think, if he was
just like
here right now.
But like the recipe he had and the recipe I had, like not to brag, but I think I got pretty good at pedaling it. Like so when we would have a little tire shake, like I just and his tune up and my driving, it just worked. But yeah, I mean, I would screw up all the time. So,
but pedaling, it's not easy. You got to catch it really quick, and you don't go off and wait and back on. You got to slap it, and it's got to happen. It's got to be really fast.
Yeah.
And some people are really good at it.
Yeah.
You got to think on before it's off.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not easy. And I've never done it in a top fuel car, but wow, that's really impressive. That's really cool. All right, so we transitioned to top fuel, and then we moved to funny car pretty fast. There's the top fuel days.
So, fun fact, this was, I was a senior in high school, and I'm trying to remember who the photographer was, but I was getting these pictures done for PR stuff, and he's like, oh, bring a couple changes of clothes, and we shot my senior pictures. I had like a sweater and like my overalls picked, and
I remember those pictures.
But then this uniform, this fire suit changed like 15 times off the same picture. So it was like we just kept leveraging the same picture.
That's cool.
I would get lipstick. I'm like, where did this? I did not put on light pink lipstick. Like, what is this?
Okay, so we've got funny car stuff, but we want to talk about some dragster stuff too with the top fuel, with what you did, because you've accomplished some things that not many folks on the planet have accomplished. So I don't know which videos should come first, because they're kind of both of the same thing, but let's see if we can watch this one here.
My father was into drag racing before I was born, and it was when I got my permit for driving on the street when I was 15. That's when it clicked. And there I was at the track, this high school kid that was away for the weekend, taking a break from school to go drag race, because that's, in my world, that was normal. I think it was difficult for people, because it was not just a female, but a young female. I definitely heard the phrase, she hasn't paid her dues.
And we got top fuel final coming up. What an exciting race.
So crazy to be in the final round. I know how hard that is. It's awesome.
That day, the race that I won
That was the
in Englishtown, New Jersey. That was the weekend of my
that I
senior
can
prom of high school, which I opted out of to go to the races.
Dave Reed, this is going to be a great run.
It certainly is. And the best part about it is we get a brand new winner. Neither one of these drivers has ever won on the NHRA National
They look
event
huge,
here.
the underdog.
I got to tell you, the crowd really likes CRISTEN Powell.
Yes, he was.
I like experience.
That's not the way they talk
Sauber
here.
will win this thing. Steve Evans, I think you can't disagree too much.
Well, Dave Reef is a very insightful man and can predict almost every drag race win. Except one.
Except one.
Sorry, Dave, you missed out on that one.
Brance McDaniel won a promote at 93.
Hey, look who's
Wow,
there.
those uniforms.
Yep.
Lori
Sexy
Johnson.
The
purple.
stars
That's awesome.
all over.
Nothing will be as much of a surprise as this final.
Lee Beard was sitting in the other car.
Yeah, he was.
I remember being on fire a little bit that last round.
CRISTEN Powell adds her name to the ranks of teenagers who have won Top Fuel.
And then it was just from that point on, it was surreal. I had won this thing that I was always striving for.
Look at the kid.
I like couldn't get out.
Getting out is way harder than getting in. Way harder.
Almost makes
They're like, she's tickled. I'm like, I
well
can't get
worth
out.
it.
Yeah.
So much better than prom.
Yeah.
If I could go back to prom, I would totally pick a drag race over it.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. You know, I was coming down there and just kind of crossing my fingers and really laid over and I heard it pop and then I saw the flames come around my head. Got shot as soon as I can and I got out and no one told me to win.
For women in NHRA drag racing, it's unique because it's heads-up racing with men. Because drivers are using these machines to get down the track, it evens the playing field, and you don't find that a lot in sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the 100th time, a lady is going to take home the trophy.
The fact that 100 wins have happened by women in the sport shows that the sport can move forward and it can be supportive of women in racing. It's moving forward. There's more and more women every day. And so I would really encourage kind of building that sisterhood, whether that's, you know, developing friendships and actually having that unity at the track, or just the fact that one person won kind of laid the groundwork for the next person and the person beyond that. I mean,
You know, I have to say,
I would love
I'm
to
happy
encourage
to see
the younger women in
that
sports and really
women
strive for
are
that.
together in the
If I
sport
had a
today.
young female
Because that
racer
was
in front of
not
me,
the way
I
that
would
it was.
tell
Yeah.
this young
It was
racer,
not the way that it
don't-
was,
don't
and
let
when
people
Kristen
get you
came
down
into
when
the
they tell you
sport,
that you
there were a
can't
few
do
women
something
in
just
top
because
fuel,
you happen to be female.
and
When I
they
was racing, I would have
they were
these
not nice,
wide-eyed
and they
kids
were
that
not
maybe they weren't
welcoming.
racers
And I
yet,
remember
but
the
you would
more
come
and
up
more
and
women
you
that
just
came
scratch their head and
in,
go, "But you're
the more
a
comfortable it
girl."
was. And
Yes,
now what
I'm
I
a girl,
see
and
is
I race
completely
cars, and I
different.
It's
So
completely
I
different.
do see a
So,
sisterhood,
Yeah.
and that's
go on
not
and
what was
on.
present.
The way it was, yeah.
The
So
youth,
the
next
dues you
generation
paid
of
paved the
racers,
way
and
for
just
what is now and seems normal now, but wasn't then.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You know what's funny is, so I went to
Don't let anyone
Linfield
tell you that you
and
can't, 'cause
I
you can.
studied sociology, as I had been telling you, and I wrote my senior thesis on women in drag racing, and so it was like, it was kind of this like interview ethnography is what it's called. Anyways, I called up a bunch of the females, and Shirley let me interview her.
Yeah.
And just interviewed, I mean, Pro Stock Bike, Top Fuel. I think, was Erica Enders racing at that? I don't. Maybe she wasn't yet.
She was racing when you were racing. Yeah.
Was she okay?
Yes, she was. I remember.
Tried
yeah.
to interview everyone. It was really, it was very cool, and everyone was very sisterly. I found that Shirley was always lovely to me because I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like you're the goddess of
met
women in
Shirley,
drag
right.
racing. Like I
Right.
need to give you the respect you're due, and
Right.
We
she
match
likes
raced.
respect.
Of course.
We match raced Shirley, and that's when you first got to meet her.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
But she sure
In-
earned
in
it. I mean,
Ohio.
she went through some really tough times. They were not nice to her at all.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I
Crazy
can't
world.
imagine. I mean, I saw what Kristen dealt with.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be teeny tiny.
Yeah.
Like compared to what that woman went through.
Yeah, there weren't a lot of others to
Oh yeah.
share your heartache with. I mean, she was it for a long time, and she kicked their ass too a lot
Yeah.
too. Awesome. It was pretty cool.
And she didn't take no shit.
No, that's a fact.
I feel like she still doesn't.
Yeah,
That
that's
would be
funny.
correct.
Okay, so we go to funny car
like the
racing.
one where you
Oh, we got wait, a
bump-
couple more dragster pictures here
Where you bumped
that
into
we
the
wanted
wall
to
at the
show.
end.
And
what?
that was the Reebok car. You guys brought Reebok sponsorship to the sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did that, but that's pretty impressive. Had to buy a lot of shoes or know somebody.
I think we did that because Nike I think they did that because Nike at the time did not acknowledge drag racing as a sport.
Oh my word.
They did not. So because we talked to them about sponsorship, because we've got a girl from Portland, Oregon here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that might have been how it.
That's awesome. That's a great story. I did not know that.
And I mean, drag racing fans are so loyal. So
Yes.
people would be like, look at my new Reeboks. I
Yes.
bought them because you brought them to the sport.
Yeah,
We
that's
really
really
tried
cool.
to emphasize that, but
That's awesome.
Well, the orange and blue car was the colors of one of their shoes at the time.
Yeah.
That's this one
They
here.
painted it that way because of the shoe.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a gorgeous car.
It was.
And anytime you got flames standing out past the wing, it's a pretty cool picture. That's awesome.
yeah,
Wow.
that
Very
was
cool.
a really good looking car.
Yeah. And parachute shot that same car, it looks like. Wow. That's so cool. Yeah, I get envious pretty fast. At some point, you then licensed in Worsham's funny car.
Yes, in Medford. And then
In Medford?
Phoenix. I think we took a couple shots at it because we couldn't get. You have to go within a fraction of the national record.
You started in Phoenix. That was when you did your first shots, and then
That looks like Phoenix to me.
that is Phoenix.
Huh,
Yeah.
that's
So
cool.
you did, when you had to do your escape drill and all that other stuff too.
This is
So
the
that-
picture where you were pointing out.
My eyes are open.
My eyes are open.
We did not Photoshop those.
And the blades are wide open and the flames are standing up. So that thing's pulling hard.
It's amazing how the human brain works. when you
Yes.
race These things, like somehow you just see what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, you're supposed to use your brain.
Yeah. Your reptilian brain.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're not processing and thinking about it. It's instinctual. Because if you have to stop and think, it's way too late. Crazy. And so, other pictures of you? That's.
They
that
look
is
a
so
little unexcited.
Or that could be focused.
cool. Yeah, we'll call it focus.
Focus.
We're
Let's
good
call
with
it
that.
mean-
focused.
So then this car belonged to
Helen Hoffman.
Ellen Hoffman, and Al, God rest his soul. He was a fierce competitor with John for a long time. They fought. The tires are different now than they were then. We don't get the smoky burnouts like we used to.
Oh yeah.
Man,
And Ronnie Swearingen was like, "Got to heat up the engine. Got to heat up the tires. Go crazy." And like he was like, "Yeah, do half-track burnouts.
Wow.
Have fun with it." And I mean, like, you snowboard, I snowboard. It's like snowboarding when you're on fresh powder.
Yes.
Like the car's just like floating.
Yes,
I was
yeah.
like, "Oh my gosh! Like who needs the run?
it's so
Just
cool.
do this all day."
It's so cool.
These are the moments I miss.
Yeah, that's really cool. So at Vegas at Strip, this is 2000, I believe is what it said. And my point is, I was there with my car then. And we didn't do so well, but we were brand new.
We likely didn't either.
But it's
So
just
we were all
crazy
there.
to realize we're there at the same time with you guys and didn't know what we didn't know. But it's just the drag racing world is just such a small bowl of Wheaties. You can't screw up one side and think it's not going to affect the other. So if you're a schmuck, everybody's going to know pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
And you're marked for life, and there's no coming back.
It's
so
true.
I don't have to hide behind any trailers, and never will. If your word isn't good, you ain't jack. That's what matters. That's more important than anything, in my opinion. Anyway, gorgeous car. God, it's pretty.
And there were like 5 of us females. There were 2 women who worked on the crew along with Helen. She would always get greasy. Carrie, myself, like we were basically half and half. That was kind of our shtick. Is like it was a very female-centric
cool.
team.
That's really cool. I mean, come on, that is so cool. Crap. And if you've been to Vegas, you know that's Vegas. You recognize it very quickly. And that strip sign is so cool. That arch to go under is so cool.
There, who was that woman's name?
That's Ladybird Lynn.
Lynn. That's
And then there's Helen up in front
Yeah,
of the
up
car.
in
Yeah.
front. She had that hat. Was she Australian? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought so.
she was one badass woman.
Yeah.
Like she didn't speak much, but when she did, it was profound.
Yeah, yeah.
And trucker like.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. It was, yeah.
She was rough and she is
Definitely,
rough and
definitely
tumble.
not Formula One material.
Look at these grandstands full of people watching you do that. It's something I've always enjoyed in my fraction of a fraction of what you guys did, but is that I'm out here doing this to the best of my ability, making memories, getting pictures, getting time slips, while I love the folks who are there because we couldn't do it without them, but they're paying money to sit in the stands and live vicariously. And for the good or the bad, we're out here slugging it out, making it happen. And you get bloody knees sometimes, and you get back up and say, I'm going to do it again until I get it right. You don't quit. Something I'm not very good at is quitting. I should be better maybe, but I haven't done that. Pomona, it looks like. Wow, it's gorgeous.
We were trying to get a sponsorship, you remember? And this was the coolest memory I had of all the racing was when we tried to get Smash Mouth to sponsor the car. And so they came down and spent a night with us. And it was, I mean, I remember it was the coolest thing ever. I mean, we hung out with Smash Mouth the whole day.
Yeah.
And then they we went out to like Applebee's or something for dinner. We all hung out at dinner, and then the next day we got to hang out in the Smash Mouth mobile. It was like the
But
coolest
then
thing.
when you went out to Applebee's, when you went in, didn't they put their music on?
Oh, that's cool.
I don't remember.
That's cool.
Yeah,
But
people
there's
started.
a picture. We had the lead singer take a picture of Kristen and I love the photo.
It's a great picture.
That's awesome.
But we can't say there's a picture of us and Steve Harwell, but Steve Harwell really did take that picture of us.
That's cool. That's cool.
Steve, I have pictures of Steve Harwell on the bus.
Yeah, it was
That's awesome.
so much
Yeah.
fun.
That's very
just
cool.
one day.
Yeah.
Just one day.
Yeah.
Just
We were drinking
one
really
day
good
there.
Pinot Noir right out of the bottle.
Okay, car performance-wise, something I know about in my car, and I presume it's similar. So you see these long, smoky burnouts where it's making enough power just to rip the hide off the tire, but the blades are not wide open. In fact, that would be very bad. All the rods would come out.
Yes,
so
indeed.
I don't know what this is. I know in my car it's less than 1/8 of an inch of blade opening, and we've also screwed up and made a lap with the stop on, throttle stop on, and that thing will run mid-6s with a damn stop on the thing. Yeah, with 1/8 of an inch of blade. It's just nuts how much power these things
I
make.
think it was this car, but I didn't have to have a throttle stop. They
Really?
let me whop it and
Oh
play
my-
with it. That's why I had so much fun doing burnouts.
That would be awesome.
Because I got to just
Yep.
because Forrest did that all the time.
Yep.
Ronnie's like, yeah, do that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Do that. Give him a show.
If you can control it, that really speaks to your talent. That's awesome. That's awesome. And it's just gorgeous what these things would do. That's so cool. So now we're to the Nitrofish.
Nitrofish. Is Nitrofish still around?
I don't think so.
No.
No. Well,
so.
Oh, just
actually,
like
some-
it went from
excuse
one
me.
car to the next.
Excuse me.
and
It's still on the kid from Rhode Island.
I don't know anybody.
He has a name that I can't remember his name. anymore.
Oh, you come up with it. I don't know who that would be.
This is
No,
such a
he-
big deal, like who was
He's
getting
the fastest running
Nitrofish.
Ford out. He's got a Ford. It's Tasca.
Tasca.
Tasca. He's got
Bob
Nitrofish
Tasca?
on his car.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
It's not quite that big.
No.
Oh no! I mean, it's just a small.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. But they're still out there. That's cool.
Oh.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah, that was my last year.
And that was
2000.
2000.
I changed the tail number on the airplane.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and made it 81.
Oh, wow.
Well, because my top fuel number was 18.
Oh, okay.
And then so
okay.
she made the funny car number 81, and then we put 81 on the tail of the airplane. That was
That's-
after we sold Sequent.
That's very cool. It's just cool pictures, cool memories. And I was around. And wow, very cool. Just as a spectator.
All of
fan
us
for your
were.
stuff.
To think that all 5 of us were there is kind of
Yeah.
cool.
It is cool. It's just bizarre how small the world it is.
I at one point looking at me signing someone's I signed my name like Carissa, and so then I started shortening to C Powell, and people got pissed.
Really?
I remember that.
Yeah,
Is
Not
that
your
right?
signature.
I remember
Yeah, but
Lord.
it takes me
Kristen.
too long.
Right.
yeah. And then
Right.
people were
Then I had the
advertising.
audacity to do CP, and people were like, "I'm sorry."
Seriously, how important are you?
John Forrest does like a squiggly
Yeah.
line. Like,
Yeah,
that had to have changed.
Well, I remember, Dad, you went up to him one time to say something. He like signed
Yeah,
your
yeah.
face or something.
John was.
Like it's all he knew. Like you tap him, he just.
He was a
pen
signature
out.
waiting to happen. is
Yes.
what John was.
I
Yeah.
just like I was wearing like a choker. I
Yeah.
was such a
Oh, yeah.
kid. I was
such a
probably
kid.
20 here, but or maybe even 21,
Wow.
but I was such a child.
Time
But
flies.
I
Things
I
change.
told Kristen, you know, when she started to race, I said, look, I don't want you to race, but I'm not going to tell you can do anything and then tell you can do anything but that. So people are going to say you're doing it for me. You're not doing this for me. I don't want you to do it. Okay?
Kristen
But-
had the bug the second she got under a car.
Ah,
You know, there's no bullshit about it. Kristen wasn't coerced into racing.
Wow.
Kristen got under a car and it was over.
And Kristen's good at Kristen.
Yeah.
So the, oh, you guys are having extra dry. I haven't had my drink
That's
yet.
water.
This
Yeah,
is
it's time.
water.
It's time to fire yours up here, young man. We're about ready
All
for
right.
yours.
Well, it must be you're ready for one, right?
Yeah. Coincidentally.
We had KristenPowell.com, and we managed the site, so we just owned the URL.
Yeah.
It had info about the team, and we had like a Q&A, and I would actually answer the questions. So fans would write in, and I would answer them,
cool.
and they wrote some. Do you remember the worst one? It was horrific.
Hope your sister dies of cancer.
No.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
riddled with
cancer
and
and
you
died in a fiery crash.
And I was sitting there staring at my computer
Yeah.
in like my college dorm room, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
we were like OG
I'll never
trolls.
forget that.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
we were trolled before people got trolled.
Right. What,
Yeah,
what
you're
the
right.
hell
It
was wrong with
so
them?
horrific. I just couldn't process it. Like
Well, of course
They
not.
can
the
do
level
it
of
That's
because
evil.
they can
Yeah,
do it
I'll
without
never
being
remember
It's
that.
the anonymity. They
I'll
can
never
say anything
forget
they
that.
want. There's
yeah,
no accountability.
I'll never forget it
Really
either.
strange.
And I think it wasn't a thing yet, right? So
No,
I
it
just-
wasn't.
I
So
just
you
didn't
invented
understand-
trolling.
I didn't
Wow.
understand why people hated me so
Right,
much. Like,
right.
I was a total douche, right? Like, no, I mean, like, I wasn't perfect. I acted whatever.
Hey, Kristen.
I was a human.
You were a
but-
kid.
No, I was a kid.
And there was
And
a
also
lot
that
more
person-
expectation put on you.
And that person probably didn't know me. But, like, man, people can, but, like, also people can be so rad. Like,
Yes.
we were talking about people stepping in and, like, handing each other equipment. But, like,
Yes,
it
you're
was
right.
it was just a wild,
It was really interesting as
wild teenage years.
really interesting as a parent to watch what happened.
That's got to be hard as a father. Oh my
It was.
gosh.
I'll tell you what. I watched it happen. We went. I don't know. We went to Pomona, and we flew back to Portland, and it was kind of like, holy shit! I mean, the TV crews came on and everything.
Really?
But then
Wow.
I can't remember where we. I think we went to Phoenix, and we eventually went to Georgia. And that was the first time we went out to dinner, and we went to a place to eat. There was a bar. We went into the bar, just sat down, and you could see people talking at the bar.
Okay.
And trying to decide were they going to come over to the table.
Oh, really?
Oh
Wow.
yeah, and then they finally did. I mean, you know, and then it was invasive. I mean, it was.
But it was weird because there was no other kid. Like there was no other kids.
Yeah.
So you weren't sure if that was Kristen because she just looked like a normal kid
Of course.
in the '90s with her jeans underneath her shoes and
Yeah.
wearing, she was a grungy little pig. I mean, honestly, I mean, she wasn't like people what they wanted her to look like outside of the track.
So they had expectations of what
Uh-huh.
she should be or
Oh yeah.
Well, I can tell you what. Every
Wow.
weekend, back in those days, at the end of the races, she was a mess. She had to run away and hide.
Well, I'm a secret introvert too.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I'm good at
it was tough to
faking-
watch as a parent.
Oh,
I
I
actually
can
don't
imagine,
bother
especially a
anymore,
father.
but like I used to be very extrovert appearing, but like I would get so drained. Like I would sit there and
Yeah,
sign
no, it
autographs,
is
which
very
was
draining.
neat
It
because
really
like
is.
I'm interacting with the fans; they're phenomenal. But like all I wanted to do was like go hang out with Steve and Patty Federline. Like,
Yeah.
That's true.
And I felt captive in some ways, and I again didn't know how to balance it. I was just a kid.
She had
Right.
disguises.
right.
She would use disguises.
Of course.
To be able to go to the Supercomp pits.
Self-preservation. You got to survive.
Well, the
also-
grown-ups wanted her to be a grown-up. The kids wanted her to be a kid, and she didn't know what to do.
And so you can't win. You're
Yeah,
gonna fail
I
both
mean,
of them.
and everyone wanted her to be a big fucking star. So
Yeah,
this kid had so many expectations, and if she didn't meet them, she was judged horribly.
Right.
And I'm not trying to like cry me a
My sister's
river
gonna kick
my
your ass,
kid.
people.
Well, like you can't shelter anyone from the people. Like
Well,
you
and
can,
know what
but
else? Like,
And they're pretty much all well intended as well.
of course, and I'm
They
very,
just want they want a piece
everyone
of it.
wants a piece of it. No.
Wow.
But I was also very empathetic, and so that one person who was like, I've been standing in line for 45
Yeah.
minutes, and you stopped right in front of me. And I was like, you're right, I'm a terrible person. You deserve that autograph. Like, I'm not a terrible person, but I'd be like, you're right, you deserve that. And like that next person, and I'd be like, I don't know, when does this stop? Like, when do I get to go drink a Coke?
Yeah. For a 17-year-old or 18-year-old kid, that's
Pretty heavy burden.
It was pretty
Yeah.
overwhelming.
I
Like,
can
it's
only
not like I'm
imagine.
some victim of my amazing drag racing experience.
But it was
It's just
interesting.
part of
I
it. It's part of your
vividly
story.
remember.
It was part of the story.
Yeah.
It was
I
just
vividly
something to figure
remember
out.
that restaurant in Georgia where the people, I could see them. And it may have been, the races may have been on the TV in that place at that night. But you could see the people in the bar talking about it, and then one guy was brave enough or elected to come to the table.
Wow.
And boy, that was the end of it.
I'll be darned. Yeah, well, that's part of racing that
Oh yeah.
I can only relate to by hearing your stories, because I promise you not many people want to come talk to me. But that's
because they don't
amazing.
know you.
Yeah.
If
yeah,
they
that-
got to know you
that's
like
the
we
problem.
do, they would.
We went to Pomona in 2019, I think. My partner Cheeto and I went up to Pomona. Dad flew down,
Yeah.
went, and he has the starting line pass, and he's like,
Yes, I'm so glad you're going to tell this.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah,
too.
you
me,
should
follow
remember.
my lead.
Yeah.
And so, as the security should do,
Yeah.
the guy's like, okay, you have a pass, like, what
Yeah.
are you two doing
Yeah.
here? And we're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
We
And
used to
Dad-
be really important.
Yeah, we used to be. So my dad's like, well, I have the, and the guy's like, I can't let you in if you don't have a pit pass. And he goes,
Yeah.
are you Kristen Powell?
Seriously.
And
for
Cheeto,
real.
he's
For
just
real.
like,
Her
Wow.
boyfriend is just floored.
Wow.
And of course,
excuse me?
he let her in.
And then
course.
I'm like, oh, what? You got us in?
Who got us in? You're
It was
welcome,
very
Dad.
validating.
How bad. That's cool. That's a funny story.
And then
Wow.
and then we got down on the line, and Cheeto, it's his first time at a drag race. He's watching with his ears plugged. The two of us are standing like a bit behind him, not watching Alexis.
Yes.
We're watching
him.
Cheeto.
Yes, because they're pretty good at what's coming.
Oh, and she slams the throttle, and he's, wah! It was great. I
That's
never got
all-
to enjoy that.
That's awesome.
stuff. Like,
That's all any of us ever wants to see is someone
it's
getting
terror.
to stand up between Rick Stewart and the cars.
First experience, right?
That's awesome.
Got to take a lot of people on the starting line in those days. That was
But you know what?
really
We
a
got to
treat.
hear all their stories too.
You know,
Right.
we met a lot of people who were like movie stars because Kristen got to race in that race at Long Beach.
Yeah.
With
Laguna Seca.
Cameron Diaz.
No, not Laguna
Really?
Seca.
Oh.
Queen
Long,
Latifah.
Long, Long Beach
Long Beach
Grand
Grand
Prix.
Prix.
Yeah.
Yes.
And,
Wow.
and so these movie stars raced with her because it was a pro, and she got to race with the pros.
Roundy
And-
round.
Yeah, they bring drag racers.
Roundy round
Like, we
races.
know what we're doing.
And so these movie stars would come to the races, and
Oh, Catherine Bell.
Catherine
That's what you're
Bell,
thinking. My dad
who-
has a
who
crush
was-
on Catherine Bell.
she was a great
I have a
person.
crush on Catherine Bell.
She was really nice. But they came to the track, and she went down to go to the ladies' room, and then came back up to the stands. And she said and she had one of our passes with her name on it, right? And so just a stick-on pass, right? And from the hospitality, and we're up in the stand. She goes down to go to the bathroom, comes back, and she goes back up and says, "My God, someone was standing down there in line with me," and they turned around and said, "You look just like Catherine
Oh my
Bell."
God.
But they were, and we got to take them down on the starting line. It was the kid who ended up crashing his one. Chill.
Chill. Daryl Chill Mitchell. He was in
Yeah.
House Party.
He came to the.
And Richard Dreyfuss.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
they came up on the starting line,
Wow.
and
It
then
was Cameron Diaz that was such big shit.
Yeah.
That's
And
so
she
Yeah,
was
she
cool.
really
was
impressed by
Suzuki
you.
was like
Oh,
heart
yeah.
eyes for Cameron Diaz.
and I remember Kristen said to me, she said, "Wow, all these people, they're so excited." You know, I said, "Kristen, they're going to go back and do what they do all week, you know, and you get to go back and drive a race car.
Right.
They don't,
Right. Yeah.
you know." And
pretty
they were,
cool.
and Chill was just whacked out. I mean, he was on the starting line. He said, "That is the real deal."
Yeah. Yeah. They hit hard, boy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What is it, like 20K horsepower when
Yeah.
you're standing between them?
That's right. And I don't care how good your surround system is at home, it ain't
Oh
jack to
God,
be in there.
that's a joke.
That's-
There's
that's a
no
joke.
way to explain it. There's no.
No.
Like I think you could explain a volcano.
That's right.
Like there's no way.
That's right.
Like I remember standing in between my first time, and I had no congestion whatsoever, and my nose ran. Like the shit went off in my nose.
Yes.
Like fluids
Yes.
just came from
Yes.
my body. Your teeth.
Nitro.
Like
yes.
and
Just
my
rattles you
feet
to the
weren't even on
bones.
the ground.
It's
Like they were
amazing.
like this.
Rattles you to the bone.
It does.
does.
It,
It
it
is
takes your
intense.
Drag
stomach to the
racing
bottom of your
is-
More
socks.
intense to stand between two of them on a starting line taking off
Oh.
than it is
Yes.
to drive them.
Yes. It's right. It's a
behind
fact.
you.
It's right.
It absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's intense.
It's
It's
comfortable
true.
to drive top.
It
Oh,
absolutely
listen to
is.
these guys.
Painful.
Right away, they throw the trump card right on the pile. You hear that?
Right.
Oh, the only way to do it is to drive one.
But it's different to stand between them than it's to drive it.
Absolutely.
I've never driven top fuel, but in my old heap, it's not. It's way less
Still though.
driving. I mean, you get the acceleration,
Your
but the
grocery
noise.
getter over
my
here, like,
grocery
come
getter.
on, man.
But it's not a top fuel car. And I never pretend that it is. It is what it is.
Drag
but
racing
standing
is-
between them is different.
Drag racing is experiential.
It is exactly.
Cannot explain it to somebody. You can't
No.
show them pictures.
No.
You have to
be there.
Go there.
So you can say the Pacific Ocean is big, deep, and blue to somebody who's been blind from birth, but there's no context. It means nothing. You have to be there.
Experience it.
One
Yeah.
the race that Kristen actually ended up winning, we brought a reporter from the Oregonian with us
Wow.
on the plane.
Seriously, oh
so
my
he
God.
flew out with us on the Gulf
Oh my
Stream.
gosh, I remember that.
You remember that? Yeah. And matter
Wow,
of fact,
what an
it's kind of
unbelievable timed. Like
kind of
seriously,
interesting
the
because
timing.
his father was my shopper guy at Nordstrom's.
Oh, okay.
So his father was in the men's department.
Shopper.
A shopper guy.
But he was
Wow.
He was.
I know what he's talking about.
Casey
Yeah.
Powell, everyone.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anybody had any
Father
money-
of Kristen Powell, by the way.
Yeah, that was
cool.
where all my fame came from. But the thing is that his son was the reporter. And I said, have you ever been to He said, no, I've never been to one. I said,
Oh my God, he came with us.
He came with us.
I remember that kid.
Yeah. He wasn't a kid. I mean, he was a kid to you now.
Oh
but
my-
I mean,
yeah.
But he came
my
with
gosh.
us. He was a reporter, and he was in contention for a Pulitzer Prize for the article he wrote.
Really?
on you.
Wow.
And it was, we thought it was going to be we hoped for a cover on the sports page. And it was a cover on the Oregonian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a cover on the front page. It was
That's
unbelievable.
awesome.
Low
And,
news
and,
day.
and I said to him, and he did such a great job on that. He said, I can't even remember what he said, but I said to him, when I talk to you on the way back, I want your impression of what you thought it was versus what you thought it was
What you
going to be.
expected. Mm-hmm.
Totally different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because he said, hey,
Incomparable.
but he listened to people around. Is that the girl? No, it was great.
That's funny.
really cool.
That's awesome. All right, a couple things I want to show here. Purely coincidental, about a month and a half ago, this came up in my Facebook deal, and I don't Facebook much, but this came up and I thought, oh my God, this is really cool. So picture you in that nitrofish car, but the crazy part was the comments and all these people that want to know what happened to you and what you've done.
Yeah, I never saw
since
this.
then.
Oh, I bet I'm on there. I'm on most of them. I get on there when I see Kristen on there. When I.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
So, they're over
Maybe
here
not.
now. Okay. So, I thought, well, crap, this would be awesome because we'll put it in our video. But to answer some of the questions, I never knew she drove funny car. I remember her bringing on Reebok as a major sponsor for a top fuel car. That's true. That's true. And then somebody said she drove the WWF Undertaker car.
No, but probably beat him.
Yeah, I didn't remember
That was Jerry Tolliver.
That's right.
Yeah, that was
That's
totally.
right.
We hung out with them heavily.
Yeah.
We were socially connected with them.
Well, when we stopped racing, I let Jerry use the hospitality trailer.
That's, yeah.
So some of this
And
is
all those wrestling guys would be in there.
Oh God, yeah.
And
That's a
they're
different world.
neat
That
people.
was the nighttime
Yeah.
fun.
Stand back.
Yep.
Hold my beer. But anyway, some of the facts are a little bit conflated here as to who owned what, but nonetheless. So where is she now? And I thought, crap, I was going to answer that here. I thought, well, that's kind of stupid. We need to do it on our deal, not theirs.
She's on the Cool Kids podcast.
There you go.
You want to see her? Here's where you got to go.
That's awesome. But we can share a little bit. You live in San Diego,
I do.
and you've got a very significant other, and you work at a high-tech company, and you do
I work in human resources.
HR.
Far cry from drag racing.
far cry from nitro
I would
racing.
be like after all the drag, like come see me in the office.
And as to the question, we're out and aware, looking at my car.
Well, I want to brag a little bit about my daughter.
What?
Because she came, when I said to her, look, if you ever decide you don't want to do this, because I told her at the beginning, you're not doing this for me. If you ever decide you don't want to do it, you come and you say two things to me. I'm done. And I asked no questions. We'll go, turn, get on the airplane, and go home, and everything will be gone.
Wow.
Right? And she did at the end of the last year we raced, that Nitrofish car. She came to me and she said, I'm done.
Can you tell me why?
Well, I didn't ask her, but she
can.
told me. No. I'm going to tell you because she told me, she said, I want to go and I want to get my master's degree.
Okay.
And I can't, this is great. I love it, but it's not something I want to do the rest of my life. I said, great. So let's go home. And we did. She enrolled in Brandeis University, got her master's in 1 year.
Wow.
On a scholarship.
Wow. Seriously. Holy moly. Impressive kid.
Okay, now, say whatever you want to say.
Wow. Yeah, go ahead. Your turn. Follow that up.
No, but I mean, I think that's, that was the case. I had gotten into racing the day before I was 16. It was this interesting life for a kid. I had ridden horses before I got into drag racing, so that was a full-time commitment.
One more interrupting. She won a national championship when she was 13 in a class that was up to 21 or over 21. She won a national championship at 13 in an age that was up to 21.
On a horse?
Our PR person, everyone.
Yeah, no kidding.
No, she's...
I obsess. I am very competitive, as we all are.
What?
Wow, really?
And I know. And it was horseback riding. It was drag racing. I was telling you I mountain biked. But yeah, I mean, I very much like you. I did this thing. I was all in. I didn't grow up.
No, I
around...
only went 237.
That's true. I was way faster, and Joe was way faster than me. So, but I was all in. But it wasn't my life. It was.
It was what you did, not who you were.
Yeah, I would
Well,
say.
she has a sister who was also a very, very competitor in a higher class. My middle daughter, Courtney, who never went racing and didn't want anything to do with it. She was also a very accomplished horseback rider.
I'll be darned.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting a sense of the family, right? But yeah, we didn't grow up in it, and found it, loved it, was passionate about it, then decided that chapter was closing. I wanted to focus on school. I was juggling school from high school to the beginning of college, and then I knew I wanted to do that, and so I walked away. Cruz Pedregon called me like the year after. He offered me a ride in his car.
Well, he was on TV.
He had a contract with ESPN or whomever, but he was like, I secured a sponsor. I can't drive it because I have this contract. I need a driver. You're like this media darling.
No.
And I said,
she said
thank
no.
you, but no thank you. And he was like,
what?
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah, right. Oh my
God. He said, you just dismissed that out of hand?
No, you know what? I remember what he said. He said, I'm offering you something that people would die for, and your response is, no thanks. And I'm like, yeah, thank you so much, but I have chosen to move away.
I'm so proud of you for being able to do that.
The strength of
And
character.
I mean it.
But you
At
knew
that
you were.
age,
You knew what you wanted.
I couldn't have done that. I would have kept on doing for all the people.
You're like,
yeah.
The
I would
race,
have taken care of
crazy?
myself.
See, this is my
Yeah.
age here. That's how you hang up the phone, kids.
We actually had phones with cords.
that race in
But I was like, am I
Englishtown,
insane?
that race in Englishtown, you raced him, the blower blew, right?
yeah.
And he ended up winning the race.
You're like an encyclopedia. I have
Right, no, it
As long
is.
as you don't need a name, he's got all the details nailed.
Yeah, no
I
names.
picked these up
Amazing.
and put them down.
The
He's
names
like,
are
you
in there,
raced
but I don't
Cruz,
have
it
the
was round
addressing
2,
function.
The blower blew up. Like,
It's up there. They're just not connecting the dots. I get it. That's hilarious. Wow.
I love the
Anyway.
shout outs across the family. That's very awesome.
That's
This is what
that's
happens when you
amazing.
put a bunch of people together in a deal like
Yeah,
this.
do you need me to turn
You
my
probably
mic
won't
down?
do this again.
That's awesome.
Should we all go in the bathroom and
We're editing that out, remember?
Oh my gosh.
That's so funny. That's so funny. Okay, this goes back to the podcast with your pop.
This is fun.
And the part that I want to point out here is we had a comment that is stunning, and I haven't responded to it. And you sent me
oh,
a
that's
text
Mike
about
Brown.
it.
He's one of my old pilots.
Yeah. So I get these comments like, yeah, he's such an amazing guy. Casey has so many great stories. Thank you for doing this. Awesome, cool stuff. And then we get this. I flew the Gulfstream, what, G11? What is that? G2?
G2,
Oh, it is.
yeah.
For the first couple years, Casey had the jet. I took off from Brackett Field, and I know where that's at.
Oh my God, I know what this is. I remember it already.
Brackett Field is right across the street from Pomona Drag Strip.
Yes.
Okay? And
Oh my
in
God,
fact,
I remember this.
Yeah. So he says, I took off from Brackett Field across the street from the track, Pomona, stayed low and slow, and made a pass down the track in the opposite direction of the cars. Over the stands, I went to max thrust and stood the jet on its tail. Oh my
God, you don't
Casey
even
got
know.
a call later in the flight from someone on the ground saying that we had out-noised 2 top alcohol cars making a pass. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Flew all over the
Well,
world for Casey. Got to drive his Porsche, his Lambo, and a Harley one afternoon. Good times. So clearly this gentleman's an employee, but he thinks the world of you, and you must have treated him
Oh
quite
my
well.
God,
And I think the
everybody
world of
was
him.
treated like gold.
He still works for that company.
Is that right?
And he's getting ready to retire. But I'll tell you something.
He was given-
Connie got the blame for that.
He
Connie got the
was
blame
given
for
an order. This man was given an order.
We love you, Mike.
We love you, Mike, but he was given an order, and it was to make a big deal over. And so everyone knew who it was, and everyone knew what it was.
That airport is not exactly LAX, let's be honest.
Nope.
It's a little airport with a lot of Cessnas with propellers that come putting in and out.
my pilot my old pilot who just died last year. He would love to go to the races there because there was a school there, and they would park the plane and give tours through the plane to all the people in the school. He didn't care about the races. But Mike Brown was a racer.
I see Sue Mitchell commented too, and her late husband was actually not just her late husband. Sue also was a very integral part of our race.
Oh my God!
You know what? We qualified. I can't remember what the race was, but something that I always wanted to do. I sent the jet to Portland to pick Sue.
Are you serious?
And
he would do this.
The
He would-
money that takes
He
just
would
astounds
send
me.
the jet for someone
Oh my
he
God.
didn't even really know. If he knew what it would mean to them.
Wow.
And they
It
still
was
talk.
something.
Sue
yeah.
and Scott Sayer's wife, Kim. I sent the airplane to get him, had meals put on for him to die for, and bring him back for the race.
That's unbelievable.
And then the other thing we did.
I'd never heard that till just now. That's
Oh yeah,
amazing.
that happened a lot.
One of the crew
That happened
guys.
to different
One of the
people.
crew guys was engaged to be married, and kept talking about marrying. I finally said, "You know what? Bullshit. You're getting married tonight.
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 We're flying to Vegas.
We're having a reception
Oh my
on
God.
the jet, and we're flying to Vegas. You're going to get married. We're going to come back, and we're going to run the race tomorrow."
That's what
Seriously?
that's what we got to do, and we didn't just do it with each other. We did it with everybody.
Wow.
We did
was
it
so
with
much fun.
everyone.
Dell. We were
Dell.
maybe in Gainesville, and he was dating Connie at the time, and he came back with us, and you dropped him off somewhere as you would a few
who was
blocks
this?
from
What was
Del
this?
Worsham.
Del Worsham.
Oh, was he?
And he got off the plane, and he and Connie, who were like these giddy little teenagers
Teens,
practically,
pretty much.
I know what it
galloped across the airfield to each other because they weren't even married yet.
Oh wow.
I'll tell you what that was. What happened was, we were in Florida. We were at Gainesville.
What'd I say?
We were at Gainesville, and what happened was, the race got rained out, and you had to be at the practice for the
The Cameron Diaz thing,
for the Cameron Diaz for the
Celebrity Grand Prix.
Jeez.
So we were flying back
On the other side of the country.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And so those guys were there, and I said, "Do you want to go home for the weekend?" And they said, "Do we?" Yeah. So I loaded food on the airplane, put everybody on board, and off we went.
This would just, I mean, here's the thing. With racing, we were somewhere every weekend. And because, especially with the A-Fuel racing, we went to every race in between the races.
Oh,
So
wow.
we
Well,
would
we did
we
A-Fuel.
would pick up hitchhikers. We would, I mean, hitchhikers from the racing world, like Casey Suzuki. We'd pop him in our back pocket. He would come with us.
Wow.
He'd stay at home with us for way longer than we wanted. Rex Brown, just like anybody. If we were going back to the next place, we'd pick up Joe's family. We'd just fly. I mean, it was incredible, but it wasn't just, like I said, it wasn't just us. It was everyone, and we got to share it. Because of Dad, we got to share it with everyone.
Well,
and
it's
so
because
it was just, it
when
was
I
the
was a
best
kid,
times
I
of our
couldn't
life.
do those things. So I thought that was really cool to be able to bring people and help.
That makes perfect sense.
And I always
to me.
wanted to send my plane for something.
That makes perfect sense.
As one
to me.
does.
You sent your
one
plane
does.
for plenty of person, Dad.
That's
For
that's
lots
so
of
cool.
different reasons. For sad reasons, for good reasons, for upsetting. I mean, you sent it for lots of reasons.
Yep.
Incredible.
I had a friend
stories.
call me when I had the last airplane I had, which was a Citation. I had 4 different airplanes. 3 of them I flew. The Gulfstream I never flew myself. I was always too damn busy to fly. and so, but the last one, I had a friend call me and said, "Hey, I've got a problem. I need some help getting an airplane. I need to get my mom on a plane from Palm Springs back to Portland. She can't fly anymore, and I don't know what to do." I said, "I'll come over and pick you up." And so we did. And
Wow.
no, I mean, those are the things that were so much fun to be able to do.
I get it.
I mean, you could save the day
Yeah.
for other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It is-
I mean, you could
it's very
save
cool.
your own shit and, do a lot of shit for yourself, but when you get to save the day, that makes
Yeah.
it pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Be a
So,
hero for someone.
yeah.
It's awesome. It's wonderful.
But it wasn't about being a hero. It was about making something happen that otherwise couldn't have
Couldn't
happened.
happen without. Yeah.
And
That makes sense.
And it was so important to them.
And connection.
Yeah.
Wow. Small world. So Sue and Guy, Sue's son, Keith,
Yes.
he's a brother to me. He's been working my car for 20 some odd years. The racing community is such a small pool of Wheaties that everything's interconnected. It's amazing. It humbles me.
The Mitchells.
Well, we
the
used to
Hurts,
stop-
like, they
Yes.
become family to everyone. right?
Absolutely.
So-
We used to
but-
stop
yeah.
for the A-Fuel car. We used to stop and pick Automan up in his hometown.
Ottoman, just for his beef jerky.
Oh boy, that's
Not for his tuna.
Was it beef jerky?
We don't want to
We
know.
don't know
We
what
don't
kind
know.
of jerky it
There's
was.
some dead animal that we
Yes.
buy
I
got
still
made
think
jerky
about
out
it.
of.
That was the
really
airport
good.
we landed at
We've
that had the
looked them up,
jackalope on it,
like,
right?
yeah.
Giant.
Douglas, Wyoming. That's Douglas, Wyoming.
And he had
was
his uniform.
Douglas, Wyoming is what
He
it
always
Oh,
had
his
Douglas,
black
Wyoming.
shirt
and his black
That's a
leather
crazy
hat.
place to be.
black
Black
pants.
pants.
No, his black leather hat was in question for lots of reasons.
That's funny.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Do you want another?
That's funny. All right, so onward.
We did have fun.
Obviously.
And in the meantime,
I
we
wish
were
I was
building
there.
a company that grew from 18 people to 3,000 people and ended up selling for $1 billion.
It's nuts. It's just unbelievable. Oh my word. Oh, pure trivia. I don't know why this is even in here, but that's my pro mod from 100 years ago.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
That's where I learned
How
to
did
drive.
this get in here?
I have no idea. Purely coincidental. That taught you to drive. The A-Fuel car taught me a little more about acceleration, but wow, that thing went everywhere but straight.
bet, yeah.
And those headers were outriggers, trying to keep it right side up. Good time. But I'm glad I did it. But man, you just sick to your stomach every time you get in the car.
kidding,
Like, dear God, where's it going to go this time? Hey, guess whose folder we're up to now, kids?
You should sit here.
You know,
Oh, I don't know. How you want to
the
do it?
race that I went to with you, Sue Mitchell gave
Yes.
me a magazine that I have been looking for years. I didn't realize that Kristen had one, but it was a Super Chevy magazine that featured her Reebok blue and white dragster and her Camaro
Wow.
in the article in the magazine. It was really neat.
That is cool.
Yeah, we had to go to the track and they filmed both cars.
That's awesome. So you guys just happened to meet the track because you're racing with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, incredible story. So how did you and your pop get into racing?
Yeah, so my dad, it was kind of similar. Like when I was younger, in that like 8, 10 range, my dad used to go to he was in drag racing back in the day, I'll step back a little bit more. His first car was a car he bought from Shirley Muldowney.
Really?
It was, I think, a twin-engine car even back then.
I heard about that.
And then it was like late 80s, I guess it was. He started getting back into racing, built a twin-engine dragster, and he started going when I was probably around 12. But prior to that, he would always go down to Kansas City and go to like the drag races. They bring in like John Force and all the big names and do like
match racing.
the match racing on the weekend.
Yep.
And I was like, I'm going to the water park. I'm going to whatever. And I'd show up at the drag races like, oh, this is lame. But then it was about 12. He got the car, and I just started working on it. And I was hooked at that point. And then so he started going. We'd go to a few races a year, and then about the time I hit high school, he was going pretty as much as he could. It was literally we would schedule how many races we could go to on how many days of school I could skip.
Wow.
So it was 10 days of school per semester, so that's how many races we went to, me and one of my buddies, and so we were full on into it.
Most people would say, I've got this much money, I can get to one burnout and half a launch
Yeah.
on that. Wow.
Yeah.
If I may ask, where did your dad come up with what business you guys have?
He has a company that's still actually up and running, ProData Computer Services. So he was a developer back in the day, and it was a program he
Computers are
developed,
good.
and it just took off. And so he did well with that.
The weird thing is, like, we come from the same background.
Yeah,
Like,
I see
both
that.
of our
I didn't
fathers
know
were
that.
drag racers turned computer nerds.
Computer nerds.
I mean, that
Totally,
really
totally.
could not stay away from the sport.
Wow.
So
That's awesome.
And so I was hooked on it, and then it was, I think my freshman year in high school, he said, I got like my F, D's, C's, like horrible grades, right? And he's like, hey, you want to drive that car at some point? I was like, well, of course I do. He's like, you got to get straight A's. I said, I know I'm failing math right now, but I can tell you I can't do that. He said, you got to get like, I think 3.5. So he's like, you got to do well in high school to drive it. So I got to drive it the first time when I was 16, which we talked about that earlier.
Wow.
I had a 69 Camaro. You know, it would run like 10 seconds or something.
That's
like
a fast
10
car.
It was a fast street car.
That's a very
right?
fast street car.
But going from that into an A-fuel car,
Yeah.
talking about leaving your mind. I
Yeah.
hit there. They're like, try to go as far as you can.
Right.
Like 300 feet max.
Right.
I was like, no problem.
No problem.
Yeah, 60 feet maybe.
Yeah.
I hit that throttle, and all of a sudden I'm coasting down the track.
It's amazing.
My brain just shut off.
Yes.
Right? But then at that, I was hooked.
But you get hooked. A lot of people, when they start out, they step on the throttle, and the car will drive out from under your foot because you don't commit enough because you don't realize the G-force is going to have.
I had no idea. You know, I envisioned it, the burnout, the
control
whole
it.
works.
It's a
I thought,
survival
this
thing,
is
yeah.
just how I thought it would be until I hit the throttle.
I gotta say,
throttle.
Oh my
I
goodness.
think
everything
you
changes.
know. I think you had the feeling, you had the feeling, you had the feeling, and you had the feeling when you hit that throttle that, oh hell yes.
Oh my
We've
God.
This is what I
you drive
need.
that
It's so
minivan.
This
addicting.
is what I want
We've
to
seen
do.
you drive that minivan.
When I went to Frank Hawley's school to get my license, I had a thrill. I never wanted to do it again.
Really?
I never wanted to do it again. No.
But you got your
Well, I
license.
mean,
But you got your license.
I did. I got my license. I
But driving wasn't for you.
It was not for me. I thought it was. I thought for sure my personality, absolutely. I'm a total dragger.
Right.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Know thyself.
Know thyself.
And it sounds like
I
you're a
knew.
good survivalist too. Your brain's like, hey, I'm gonna keep you safe.
Yeah.
It's a really unreasonable thing.
Yeah.
I knew
can tell
a
you
guy
other
on the East
stories
Coast
where-
that
Probably not
had
the
a top fuel car and could not stop from lifting.
Sure.
He's a famous guy. A lot of people know him. Freddie the Name was his name.
Wow.
No, if you ever use the name Freddie the Name, if people know him, they'll tell you stories you can't believe.
Okay.
Oh no!
Wow.
Really.
Okay, so what year are we here? Is this,
Well, I have to guess on that one. Probably a little bit later. So it was around. I raced A-Fuel up through what I think '97. Or had like 2 full years, which we ran like 26, 27 races a year.
Oh
so
my
I got out of high
God.
school, and it was like, you want college or drag races? I was like, I'll go drag racing.
yeah.
I drove the truck around. It was just me and 2 of my buddies, and we just.
Who
toured
tuned the
around.
car?
My dad. He tuned the car.
Yep.
And so.
And Automan.
Little bit.
Automan popped in and out of everyone's lives.
Yeah,
If you had an
we all
A-fuel
know-
car,
yeah,
you knew
I know who tunes
Automan.
them, but
Because that's all he
Automan
wanted
was
to
great
do.
at making wonderful parts.
You
So-
got to know Bob Otto, and I'm not BFFs, but I know everybody I know that knows him says Bob's the smartest man in the world.
Yeah.
Just ask him; he'll tell you.
Yeah.
Exactly. He makes wonderful parts.
makes wonderful
That-
parts.
Absolutely. So,
Brilliant engineer.
Absolutely, 100%. So, did that drag race in the A-Fuel class, and then I was, gosh, at that time I think I was what, 97 or 98.
So you had an A fuel car that you drove, and your dad had a top fuel car at the same time?
I think I was number 10 in points.
Wow.
In my division, my dad's like, we're done. We're going top fuel. I was like, but anyway, so we went top fuel right around then.
But your dad drove the top fuel car.
He drove the top fuel car until I think
then he took
99,
over.
and then in 2000 is when I took over.
Wow.
And during that period, they were kind of running the top fuel car. I was with Carrie, and I were driving that bus you were showing earlier. We drove that around the country. She was doing the treatments and stuff at that point. And we were just getting the rig to the next race, but then we'd have the time in between, so we got to spend time together.
No, you drove the
I did
first.
chemo from place to place, and then we chased Dave Matthews
You drove the
on
first.
tour.
It was the one before.
You did chemo on the road.
Yeah.
We did.
That doesn't even make sense.
Well, I was at
Nothing
Linfield.
this family does makes sense.
Yeah, no. Well, it's when people
didn't- oh
tell
my
you that you
God.
can't do something. You know.
Yeah, I think that with you, that's a bad idea.
That
Probably
is
with
the
Christian
No,
Powell
too.
family.
it's the
Probably
Powell
the
family.
Hartley.
No,
More dictionary on that.
Yeah, no, you're here. You have
no?
cancer, and we don't know what kind it
Yeah.
is, and
So
we
you're
don't
gonna
know
go
how
on
to
the
treat
road.
it, and we don't know what to do, and you have to stay home.
Right.
And I was like, well,
And
I can't stay home. My
Aren't you gonna
life
be-
is on the
Aren't
road.
you going to be sicker than two hound dogs with the chemo?
Yeah, I was really sick.
Oh my God.
So we did it though. I mean, there was ups and downs and ins and outs, but I mean, Joe moved the third time the cancer came back. I called Joe and I was like, I'm done. Like we
Oh
were
my
days away from
God.
stem cell replacement, and they're like, you know what? It's not going to work.
Oh
like
my
that will
God.
not work. There's nothing we could do. And I called Joe and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And he was at a race.
We were testing down in Dallas.
And that's
got
got to be so hard for you. I don't know about you. Most guys are fixers, and I want to fix things for my gal and make things right. And there's some things I
He
can't.
left the race.
Yeah,
He
it was
left the
tough.
race. He
It's
told his parents.
It is hard.
He told his
As you
parents he
know.
was leaving, and he got a plane ticket and he flew home.
Yeah, we were testing
And
in Dallas.
he-
It was a little easier at that point because we were not doing well. We were blowing that thing up out every run. I'm like, you know what? I'm heading to Oregon. Good luck, you guys.
Let me know how it works out.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
No,
So
he moved into my dad's
Yeah, I lived
house,
with these two for
and
about
I
2
left
years.
college, and I stayed in the basement for like 5 years, and
But he
then
went to Portland State and got an engineering degree.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, but there's part of the story that hasn't come out here yet that we talked about before. Why he won, when he won you over, and that was because.
Shaved his head when she lost her hair.
Yeah, there's probably a photo around somewhere, both of our little buzzed heads.
Yeah, there's a good
awesome.
story. Joe, you can tell the story about
Well, I don't. You got it. You buzzed it.
when my hair started falling out. We decided that we were gonna have a party to like go ahead and shave the rest of it off. And so we did funny things like we left tufts behind the ears and like a cute little bobble on the top and stuff. And then the next day, Joe shaved his head.
Wow.
Yeah, because it was fun. Like,
She's devoid of personality, isn't she? She's just like, she's flat. I had like bobbles on the sides.
so I mean, he shaved his head, and we rode Hartleys, and so we would show up at bars. Like I would ride my Hartley to chemo. Like I didn't care.
We did.
Wow.
Like, and then we would go to bars and we would take off our helmets and we were riding motorcycles and we had no hair. So there was also, we got all sorts of.
Kind of the opposite of everybody else is doing that.
But it was also the time of my life because I was taken care of by every fucking drag racer I've ever met. And you know
but I'll
what?
tell you.
Made it the
I've
best
had
we could.
more passes up there than anyone has. Because I just walked up there whenever I wanted.
But
And
I'll
people
tell you
took-
something. That type of cancer was so rare. I went crazy trying to find somebody who could fix her. Okay?
Of course.
And so
Of course.
in the meantime, here I am. My company was financed by the venture arm of one of the investors was the venture arm of the Rockefeller family. Wow. And so we would go back to the Rockefeller estate. They would have all their CEOs. I mean, all the big dogs went there, and I went there with them. And the last one they asked me, they would do this it was an annual thing that happened about every 3 years, right? And so I went there to the Rockefeller estate, and they said, okay, fine, we want you to come back. We want you to give a speech about what it's like to be a CEO. I said, okay, I'll be happy to do that. at the time, they had started to do investments in medical companies. And so they sent me the roster of who was going to be at this meeting. They only had about maybe 40 CEOs there. And so they sent me a roster of who's going to be there, and I go down through there, and I see a guy who's the CEO of a chemotherapy company.
Really?
And
oh,
I said,
my word.
That's the guy.
That's
I'm
my
going to
guy.
find this guy day one, right?
Wow.
So I went to this meeting, and I gave a speech. It was a great time. I got to meet Henry Kissinger,
That's
and,
awesome.
have lunch with him and all, And so I find this guy, and I say, I need to talk to you.
My
I say,
little girl's sick.
You're the CEO of a chemotherapy company. This is what my daughter has, this type of cancer. He said, I'll tell you something. I've heard of that, but I've never seen a case of it.
Wow.
And he said, but here's the deal. I'm not just the CEO of this company. I'm also a professor at Stanford University, a cancer professor at Stanford University. So here's what you got to do. It was a little annoying. He said, you got to get your kid out of Portland. You got to get her down here to Stanford. Now, I'm going to go back to Stanford, and I'm going to find the foremost authority at Stanford University on this disease.
Wow.
And I'm going to call you back, and you're going to bring your daughter down, and we're going to get her fixed up. So we had an employee excellence trip, flew everybody. Mike Brown was the pilot.
Yeah.
Flew everybody to Hawaii, right, and took a whole bunch of people. While I was there, my phone rang, and it was this professor.
Wow.
He said, I'm really sorry to tell you, nobody at Stanford knows anything about this disease.
Oh, my word.
Right? Now, these two guys were with me.
Oh,
I brought them with me. And they were riding motorcycles, and
This was when we were waiting on the biopsy.
Yeah, and so he said, nobody at Stanford knows anything about this disease. But I found the guy who is the only guy in the world who's doing all the advanced research on this disease. He's located in Washington, D.C. now at Children's National Medical Center. Here's his phone number. He's waiting to take your call.
Oh, my gosh.
He cured her.
Yeah, he did.
May I ask what year this was?
1996 was when I was diagnosed, but I was sick for at least 2 years before.
Oh, sure.
Because I got ear infections. So
and you didn't know why.
I didn't know why, and then they moved down to my neck and moved to my shoulder, and then we finally.
And of course, she didn't go to the doctor. Like I was on the board of St. Vincent's then. She didn't go to the doctor, so I gave her. And she was like, "Oh," I went, "You go to the doctor right now."
Oh, my word.
And here I now, we're going. Kristen's going to go and race in Phoenix. I have a group of employee excellence people taking them to Mexico, right? I'm in the hotel. I get a call from her. She said, I went to the doctor. He says, I have brain cancer.
We were at Phoenix, and this is why Phoenix, and Kristen was there. Kristen was, I don't know if she was 16 or 17, and we got a call from the doctor. I had the scan the day we left for Phoenix, and he called, and it was like 9 or 10 at night that he left a message, and I was like, what the hell is this? Doctor's like, hi, my name is Dr. Craig Hartler, and I'm calling because we got your scan back, and I need to talk to you. I need you to call me ASAP. So I called him, and I was like, hey, and I'm 21. And he's like, hey, this is a doctor. I'm a special doctor, and I need to talk to somebody who, I need to talk to someone who loves you, or someone that you love there. And I was like, Kristen. And so I gave the phone to my sister, and he was essentially, your sister has a brain tumor. And Dad wasn't there. He was flying in that night. And so we called Dad, and we were like, yeah, so that whole hugging thing, it turns out I've got a tumor attached to my brain, and I need to fly home tomorrow and get it taken out. So I think we went home.
So I was in Mexico. She called me, and I was like, that's a phone call you don't want to get.
No, not very bad.
Right? And I said, okay. So I called my pilot. I said, Bill, get the plane out right now.
Yep.
We're going to fly tomorrow. We're going to pick her up, bring her back. I had called, lined up some people. We got her back. Lined up everybody
surgery,
immediately. And I had a cousin who was an incredible doctor at the time, Children's National Medical Center. Children's Hospital in Philadelphia. And I called him and I said, okay, what do I do? He said, and so we went to this doctor in Portland. He said, let me talk to him. He said, yeah, this is the guy you want. Don't do the surgery on Friday. Always do surgery on a Monday. Because everybody goes away for the weekend.
And has to make up their hours and has to So we had the surgery, went back to the race, but I remember being at the race and, giving the phone to Kristen, and we're both like, what? And I remember leaving the trailer. We always parked next to the Hartleys, and they always knew to just put our two, Joe and I weren't dating, we were just best friend teams.
Yeah.
And I remember opening the door and walking out and walking over to Joe and saying, I have a tumor attached to my brain. And then I remember I woke up from that surgery asking for Joe. And my sister was like, Carrie, what is going on? Why are you asking for Joe? And I was like,
oh no, I knew why.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know why.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, And at the time, Joe was dating someone, and someone took care of that for me, and then Joe was not dating that girl anymore. And I remember thinking, God, he'll never like me because his aunt had just died of cancer. And I'm like, God, I have a crush on this guy. Now I know I wake up from surgery like, oh my God, I love Joe. And I'm like, now I'm never gonna get him. And he had me anyways. And so it was right before chemo started. My dad said, okay, you're gonna be home for a long time. Where do you want to go? You get to go anywhere you want for one weekend before you have to. And I said, I want to go racing with the Hartleys. So we flew out to St. Louis.
Oh my God.
And Joe and I fell in love that weekend.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What a story. Oh my God.
Then they came back and moved in with me. I had a house on the lake. No, my house, I had a house, it burned the weekend that we went to get Kristen's top fuel license.
The house burned down?
Yeah.
The house caught on fire
The weekend we were gone, yeah.
And we came back. And so I ended up buying a house on the
We like
lake.
to do things big.
Oh yeah, we don't fuck around.
Ended up buying a house on the lake in Lake Oswego.
Beautiful up there.
Beautiful place.
Yeah.
Right? And matter of fact, they ended up getting married on the front lawn.
How cool.
And we had the reception on the back lawn.
That's
we gave
awesome.
people boat rides. I mean, it was wonderful.
That's
So
awesome.
we dated through the races. Like everyone got to watch our relationship, from the very, very beginning, and then we brought kids, and our kids came to the races and sat in race cars and stuff, and it was a really cool story. It's still a really cool story.
It is an incredible story. But the earliest part of your relationship was over cancer treatments. Wow.
Yeah.
So my point is, it's not like you'd been together and developed this deep bond that stayed with you or helped you go through that. You're brand new in a relationship, and you decided you were all in.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
I knew
That's
Joe was
awesome.
good from when I first met him. I remember extreme introvert, would never go out of his way to talk to anyone. But I remember a girl either
Dude, I could use you.
falling or passing out at a race.
Flubby.
And I remember Joe going to her rescue and carrying her back and making sure she was okay. And I just remember looking at Joe's mom and being like, oh my God, your son. This is a man who doesn't like to talk to people. Look what he just did.
Yeah.
But he's
that's
the one who has the
huge.
mile-an-hour record in our family.
Yes, he does.
Show me the times.
That's right. That's right. It's all match time slip. I get it.
It's somewhere.
No,
I
I'm
find
sure.
it.
I better be.
That's awesome. Oh my God. I had no idea that you even had that story to share. I'm so thrilled that you would. Thank you.
And then we got 2 kids too.
Yeah.
After all that, we didn't think we'd be able to, and
What do
we
you
got
say
2.
you want here?
Authenticity.
You got it.
You got
That's
plenty
about
of
as
it
real as it
today.
gets. For the good, the bad, and the ugly. And some of that cancer stuff is really ugly. My bride and I've been through some of that, not like what you did.
Actually,
but-
when I got divorced, I had this big house. I ended up having a big Harley party there, right? And had I had Johnny Limo and the Lug Nuts.
Really?
Yeah. And
You
so
got to
what
be from
happened
the
was,
Northwest. I have no idea who that is. They're
when
awesome.
when we moved into the house on the lake, I invited. That was back when you had Seattle on one weekend, and then Sonoma on
Yes,
the next weekend.
yes,
And
yes.
so we invited all the Top Fuel, all the racers.
Oh, my gosh.
Everybody came to the house on the lake.
That's awesome.
Right?
It was in between Seattle and Sonoma, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so everybody on the lake who had a boat would take their boat over and listen to Johnny Limbo.
That's awesome.
And
oh
the
my
racers
God,
came
that's so
and-
Yeah, no,
cool.
all of Lake Oswego would be there for that.
Wow.
And so we did the race. We did that on, what was it? It was funny. Don Schumacher called me
Really?
the Monday. No, well, he came to the race.
Oh, wow.
He came to the concert. He called me and said, "You know, my wife lost her diamond bracelet, and I told Carrie, and she went out on the lawn and found it."
Wow.
Man, I should have snagged that thing.
Right?
That's worth $1 or $2.
Yeah.
What a
No,
wonderful
all
story.
all
That
the
is
racers
so
came to that. It was
cool.
a, it was.
I
it
want to
was
hear
a
about
great
Joe's
time.
car.
But yeah, that's what I thought we were going to talk about. But this is better.
Yeah, it's all intertwined, right?
It
all
is.
has
It
this
is every
whole
little
process.
bit
It
of it.
never
is.
ends. It just never ends.
The most important part of all this is relationships. We happen to do it by way of nitro,
Yeah.
but it's the relationships that matter. So
Somewhere in
God,
there,
what
there's a
keeps-
race
That's really
car.
what keeps you coming back to the races, right?
It does.
Like that's his relationship.
But-
Well,
with
it's the
racers.
people, the tiny little things like Guy for Kristen
Yeah.
Guy Mitchell, yeah.
was
God, what-
a relationship that I am forever grateful for.
Yeah.
He taught her so many things about life, about cars. He was the second father to her.
Yeah,
like,
he followed me around.
yeah,
when I
oh no,
dating
he was
someone at the
super
track.
creepy.
Really?
Oh yeah, he was super creepy.
Creepy.
No, the amount of family that we had racing, you know that your heart is like wrapped up in these teams, and once people go to different teams, it's like the NBA, you know?
Yeah. Yes.
You're still
You're still
you
connected.
still have that core from
Yes.
wherever you go. Like you were a part of that team with that person. It's a big fat family.
It is.
We
And it
ended up
still
doing
is.
a Johnny Limbo Lugnuts party at Woodburn.
Wow, that's awesome. So we were out looking at my car before you guys got here, and my point is I shared with your dad and sis my Guy Mitchell story. There's connectivity.
one.
It's worth hearing. So that Pro Mod that I drove for the first year and a half, I drove for the guy that owned it. I ended up buying it, but first year and a half it's his car. So I had an alcohol driver's license. I went 619. Put your hands together, right? Nothing. But okay, now I get to drive this guy's car. This is awesome. And my job is you provide the dually and the fuel to tow it around. Like, oh, okay, fine. Where do I sign up? So first lap at Woodburn, first time, the guy that owned it is responsible for me being in the sport at all. Dave Henderson was a great man who gave me a chance when nobody else did. I will always honor him. Having said that, Dave had one physical malady. He had one eye that went right and one that went left. So when he backed me up, I'm following what he says. It's his car. I'm doing what he says. I back up. And so I want you to leave at 4,200 RPM, not 43, harder than it sounds. And by God, I nail it. And I swap feet, and the thing goes back on the wheelie bar and heads straight for the right wall. And I go, oh, crap. So I stayed in as long as I could, but it's obvious this wall is getting way bigger in my peripheral vision than it should. And I lifted. And I didn't have my wrist locked or nothing. Came down, motor on down. I thought, he's going to be so proud of me. I get back to the pits, and he chews my ass out. Why'd you lift? So I was going to hit the wall. What do you mean, why'd I lift? I don't have steering brakes on this thing. It's not a tractor. And he was mad at me. And it just pulled the wind right out of me like I'd failed him somehow. And I was real sensitive to trying to make him proud, you know. I was so despondent. So I left the pits and started walking to the bathroom down the middle aisle at Woodburn. And I swear to God, it was like it was yesterday. Guy Mitchell, whom I knew, but I didn't know him well. We didn't say much to each other, but he's walking towards me as I'm going to the bathroom, and I move over, and well, he moves over in front of me. And finally, we get nose to nose, and he said some of the most important words to me and best advice I've ever received drag racing. He says, you ought not to have the blind guy line you up. I thought, now that's good advice right
That's
there.
a classic Guy
But
Mitchell.
can you
Yes.
hear him?
Oh, y'all not there. Yeah.
Like you retard. So that was the
Jackass.
last time I ever did that. So no matter what Dave did, bless his heart, I'm looking way down track to try to get the thing pointed straight. And it helped a lot. So I could stay in it. But that interaction is just priceless to me.
Yeah.
So when Guy was on his deathbed last December, and I'm talking to Keith, And I said, I've never told him what that meant to me. And he was not doing well, and so his awareness would kind of come and go. And I said, would you please tell him the story, what it meant to me, that he would share that with me, that it changed my life. And they did. They were able to share that with him, and I wasn't there. But relationships are so powerful and so meaningful. So the motto for my little team is great time with great people at 270 miles an hour. It's the people, for Christ. You can buy the parts anywhere, but you can't buy this relationship you're talking about. What you did with and for her, you guys are bonded for life. It's wonderful.
Absolutely. Well, the guy was on the Top Fuel crew too, you know.
I don't know how he could tune this stuff. He'd never done that before. These things are not that easy to tune.
He was going with us no matter what.
Well, and he would sit there wrenching on, like with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth just before he
Ashing, the shit would never fall in the car.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they would? Oh.
But
I remember
he
just
would sit
watching
there,
it
yeah,
for so long.
And then he would take that cigarette out, put a pop a new one.
And light it from that one.
That dude was so
my God.
flipping cool.
Oh my
He
God.
was
Yeah,
the
he was
epitome of
cool as shit.
He was cool. You look up cool in the dictionary, his picture will be there.
And he had
Absolutely right.
stories all day long.
Yeah. He worked at that motor shop up there, that Paola.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know any details now, but I know that when he passed, there was serious consideration about how are we going to keep this going, because nobody can do what he could do. And I don't know what they've done, but pretty irreplaceable. And,
For sure.
And irreplaceable.
Well,
in
you went to his
relationship.
you went to his celebration of life. I didn't even know you were there. I mean,
Yes.
how many
That's
people
right.
were at that goddamn?
Oh my God, it was packed. It took
3,000
forever to sign in
people.
to get in.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was unreal. And I got to tell that story there, but I know what you're talking about. Everything was packed. Yeah, he touched a lot of people.
Oh boy.
And may it be that my life has enough value that you could impact people. Because you can buy more of these damn parts, but to make a difference in somebody's life is what matters.
Yeah. I remember feeling like a caretaker for Kristen because I was her sister, but I remember that I trusted Guy more than anyone to take care of her.
Sure.
More than anyone. That he,
No, you know
like,
why?
not Sue.
Because he
Yeah.
didn't like.
No, I mean, I love Sue, but nothing was going to happen.
Well, he was like Mission Impossible
her
stalking
on-
the boyfriends.
yeah.
Guy
You know, there's that.
didn't like any guy
Nope.
that came around
He
looking
knew
for
better.
Kristen.
He knew better.
Don't
Probably had a pretty
even
good idea what they were
bother.
looking for, and may not be an
Well,
autograph.
no, there was a bad one, and he knew, but there was a good one, and he didn't know, and he made fun of him because he liked ferrets. He called.
Oh my goodness.
Which you can please not insert into this
Sorry,
podcast.
I don't do this. Don't ever get me one-on-one. My family would never let me come by
It's
myself.
hilarious. I'm thrilled you're here. The story you told
I'm
about.
questioning it.
You've taken up all of Joe's time.
Yeah, back to Joe.
Yeah.
You took up
Joe.
a fair amount of it too, by the
Yes,
way.
I know that it was important. I only interject important things.
We're only on photo one for Joe Hartley.
Oh my
The
gosh.
beauty is there's no time limit with these darn things. So I've done some of them I've done in 2 parts because they're so darn long, and I don't care what it takes. This is gold. This is awesome. It's a gorgeous car. Is that a McKinney car?
That
do you
car
know?
was so pretty.
So that car was originally built for Joe Amato,
Oh, really?
and we were, stepping into the class, and they were kind of doing that tall body and everything, and so it wasn't even fit to me, but it was a McKinney car. But
Okay.
he ended up going. I
You
can't
guys
remember
were
the
around
other
the same
builder at
size,
the
though.
time, but he decided to go a different route. You got to help me with who's building the cars. But anyway, that's the way he went, and it
McKinney?
was like ready to go, and so we're like,
Right.
close enough.
That
This
looks
works.
like a McKinney car.
It was.
With the
It
tall
was.
nose.
Yeah.
And you had to be one of the early adopters of the single front wing back.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they were just kind of coming out with it.
Yes,
Some of the guys were.
yes.
We're like, it's available. We got a good deal on it, and so
It's awesome.
Look at
like
that
it was
picture.
in.
That picture is an awesome picture.
and that would
That's
be
awesome.
your green light.
And the reason it's moving is because all that
Did I
cloud
take
of
that-
clutch
did I
that's
take that
behind it,
picture?
that we're not
Did I
smoking
take
the
that
tires
picture?
these days. The clutch has got to
bet.
give. Amazing.
So yeah.
Look at that.
And I
God,
believe-
look at the tire.
I want to tell you
think
what
I took those pictures.
you
didn't I?
took this
Yeah.
photo. and
Really?
I want to tell
Oh, yeah.
you if I'm correct with this photo. The one that's cool that the top stage light's still on and I'm still going.
Look at
but
the tire.
Damn cool.
that is in Pomona,
Wow.
2000. That is the first pass of the millennium for actual race. I was on a single.
Are you
Seriously?
serious?
That was it. I opened the Millennium for
Really?
Top
Did you
Fuel.
guys
How
oil
other
the track,
passes had
Joe?
happened, like, testing and all that.
I
But
remember.
Pomona, Winter Nationals,
yeah.
first pass qualifier 1, that's me.
I
Wow.
remember
Really
that.
kind of cool.
I remember that
You
picture.
took that picture. Yeah,
because
it was
I
a big
remember
picture.
taking that.
And I think
but
you
I
have
didn't
that
realize
capsule.
it until I looked at it.
Yeah.
What the amount of
Didn't know what you
information.
had.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
staging light is still
Yes.
Yeah, it was a cool one. It was a cool
awesome.
one. Yeah.
on. And you see the tires wrinkled.
Yeah.
Good light, Joe.
Yeah, thanks.
The tires wrinkled, the
sorry,
cars,
that's
it's, and you see the flame,
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
and the stage light is still on.
Yeah.
It's putting out power. If folks don't do or haven't had the opportunity to do some of what we do, they may or may not know. Cutting a light in these cars with a centrifugal clutch is way harder than it sounds.
sure.
With the alcohol cars, they're wound up to 8,000 RPM.
Oh,
with
yeah,
swamp
yeah,
feet.
yeah.
It's like the rubber's really tight. And these, we leave it at dead idle.
You're right.
So it has to rev up to whatever the RPM set at. Mine's supposed to go about 5,000, not those. But it's got to get there. So the reaction time is your reaction time plus the car's reaction time.
Oh, yeah.
It's the sum total of what it takes to get that darn thing moving.
Yep.
And so I understand what that means. That's impressive. The thing that catches my eye, nobody else probably would. That's a strange 10.5-inch rear end,
Yeah.
which is what we have now.
Yeah.
And they don't make gears for it anymore with the
Sure.
390s, and now they use the 12 and a quarter, 12 and a half.
Gotcha.
And they're having trouble spitting gears out.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, but
Those are
when they
solid.
oil the track down with one of those things, man,
And that's hard.
forget about it.
Gear oil is hard to clean up.
That's right. So now they have a diaper that Taylor makes that comes
Oh.
from the rear end.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
Because they're not staying together.
Ah,
Anyway, it's
geez.
another story for another
Yeah,
day,
yeah.
but
I did not know
very
that.
cool. Gorgeous, gorgeous car.
Yeah.
Gorgeous car.
Now that was, I
Good
don't know
times.
when that was, but that is the only place, you might have a story about it, I don't know,
No,
but
go ahead.
I qualified number 1. That was the only time I ever qualified number 1 was at Topeka, Kansas.
Stout.
That was amazing.
That was your track.
That was
That's
good.
awesome.
That was,
Topeka
that
was-
was our home track. That
Topeka was
2
Kristen's
hours,
I
track.
2
love
hours
Topeka.
south of us, yeah.
Because it was
We
the
set
first,
record, right?
she qualified number 1 there, the first
Yeah.
race she ever ran,
That's cool.
and we set the national record there.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Topeka was a
What-
great
It
track.
was a wonderful track for quite a few years.
it's
I'm
very
sure it
track.
still is.
The air wasn't always great.
Yeah,
It was
true,
Hard
true.
and young love
Me
there. and
too.
You could cut the air. It was so full of water, but I don't know what time of year.
I
it was.
remember we ran the funny car there. It was so cold. We had to
Yeah.
come back the next day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that too.
Yeah,
We
the
were
humidity,
in
that dew point.
snowsuits.
Yes.
It was so cold.
Part of what catches my eye is your injector
Yeah.
scoop is not the traditional 3 butterfly deal.
Yeah.
The butterflies that are down flat like what I have.
Yeah.
Why?
So that was a Bill Miller design. So
Yes.
he's big for
Yes.
doing like rods and pistons and everything.
That's
And it
what
was
my
just,
stuff
it
is.
was
Had
kind
that
of
base.
getting that closer to the,
Yeah.
getting that air closer.
Yes. That's what we talked
liked
about
it.
earlier.
We
Um,
do. Yeah, that's
yeah.
why I put the scoop on the A-fuel car.
Yeah, and and we did that for quite a few years, and we ended up kind of going back and forth
Yeah,
between
yeah,
a 4
yeah.
injector, and they all kind of, they were
Yeah.
all pretty similar. The
Yeah.
A-fuel cars really noticed that with the
A-fuel cars
scoop, because
make
that gives you a little more force, forcing that air in there. It didn't make as much difference on the fuel car.
It makes perfect sense. That's so cool. So I just snagged a few of these, but I mean,
Yeah,
the
those are good
burnouts
ones.
were awesome. As we commented earlier, the tires were different than they are now, and they just don't smoke now like they
Yeah.
did then.
So those are pictures that came off of the thumb drive that I
Yes,
gave you. Yeah.
yes,
That's good.
absolutely,
That's why I had.
absolutely.
That's why you recognize so many of them.
Well, no, that's why. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
Phoenix again.
Yeah, we did a lot of Phoenix too.
Gorgeous. Where was the car based out of?
Omaha, Nebraska.
Wow.
So middle of the country. So we were
Right.
just
Didn't
kinda-
you have a guy here that worked for Hartley?
I thought so. I don't know if he did or not. Garrett Bateman.
I knew Garrett
Yeah.
Bateman.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah. And you remember
Garrett.
Ron Higleydall? I know he helped you out a little bit.
Oh my
One
God.
of my
So
early
he worked-
podcast episodes. So what did
He was the crab man for
So
us.
Ron worked on
Ron's
the clutch a little
crazy.
bit. No, he worked on the
He did the
clutch a
clutch on
little
mine
bit. He
early.
did a
Yeah.
little bit of stuff. I'm gonna embarrass you a little bit. You remember me working on your car?
That was a long time ago.
Yeah. You remember your first race you won?
Yes.
I was there with you.
Wow.
He was the one who
Remember,
told you.
I got the bag. We got the whole. That was such a wonderful weekend, and
Oh my God.
it's all good. But yeah,
Wow.
That was
And you
back
told me
in
you
the
told him
day.
the tires shook,
I
and you
think he
told
shook
him
in
to
round
increase the
one,
fuel
and we
there.
talked about timing, and you ended up putting some time in it, and boy, that
Oh,
thing went
that's-
down, boom, boom,
Wow.
on that thing. That was a wonderful weekend.
How many times have I talked about the small bowl of Wheaties at this
Right?
sport is? Like, oh my God.
Yeah, yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God. That's so cool. Yeah. the torque curve of a top fuel
Oh my
car.
goodness, right?
I mean, the motor's turning that way, and it's going, I'm going that way, bitch, hang on.
Yep.
And, God, that's incredible. But again,
Here's another one of those pictures. Look
Yep.
look at the tree.
Yeah.
Look at the tire. Look at the bulbs.
You had to have some incredible lights.
I tell you, I remember I was up in.
Joe
There
had
was a
some
time when
lights.
we were running.
I thought it
this-
was just masterful photography.
Yeah, let me
did
tell
have
you,
some-
Greg, the hours. I told you we'd stay at the track at night.
Yes.
Let me tell you, the reaction timer game. This
Yes.
is what we did all
all night
night
long.
I have
long. Like
one of
we would be
those.
up
Oh, yeah,
until
it's fun.
3 a.m. All of us in a trailer.
Oh,
in
I
a
thought
Hartley
you meant
trailer.
like it was like a Carrie
No,
Joe.
No.
It was like the whole.
All of us, all
Oh,
of
yeah?
the guys that we would, we would play
was a
reaction timer until 3 a.m. We just, that's all we did.
Yeah, how you talked about it's the combination driver and
Yes,
car. We
yes.
had a time where we were running an old 4-barrel injector on there, and it was
yeah.
one we got from Bernstein at some point. Dude, I was cutting like 410, 420 lights
Wow.
on a consistent basis
Oh,
to the point
yeah.
where I would come up to do a qualifying run because
Yeah.
they had a point where they were like, you would get a certain like. It was like a status. I don't even know what it was, but they were recording our reaction times during qualifying and like having. It was almost like a competition within all the drivers. It was weird. I don't remember what it was, but I would other drivers and crew chiefs would come up to watch our car run to figure out how
you
the
did?
hell I was getting such good.
Well,
and
that
I was
picture,
not.
look at
I
that
was
picture.
shallow stage. I was not going
Really?
deep.
You went in deep?
Because I was trying to get the reaction. I was trying to get. It was. We blew that injector up. Yeah, I was no longer a hero.
Fairy tale ended.
So I did as well as I could.
But
the
look
car
at the
helped
information in that picture. Look at the lights.
It's amazing.
The stage and pre-stage are still lit,
Still lit. So you haven't moved forward out of the first beam yet.
right?
Yeah.
And the
I just
tires are
rolled.
wrinkled.
Nor has the slow poke in the other lane, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah, he's still dreaming.
Sorry, Marshall
anyway,
Topping.
yeah.
Didn't mean to.
Who could have ever taken that picture?
Only you, sir. So, okay, I gotta back up for folks that may not understand how these lights work, because today they measure them and count them differently
It's a
than
little
they
different.
did
Oh,
then.
yeah.
So back then, well, it's still true now, it's just how they count it, but the difference between all three yellows illuminating and the green illuminating was 0.4 of a second.
Right.
So anything that added to that, you were wasting time, it's time to go. Anything 3.9 under, you're screwed, you're red lit. The point is, a 410 light today sounds horrible,
Right.
but that's an 010 light today.
Right.
That is not possible in Top Fuel, folks would tell you. Not without guessing,
Sure.
and yet,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Metro-
So when you
Metronome
look,
over here.
when
Yeah.
you look, when you look at what's in that picture, right?
That's unreal.
The flames are up, the tires are wrinkled, the pedal is to the floor,
The power's already got to the tire.
and the lights are all still on.
Yeah, I don't know how you can do that and not guess. That is amazing. I'd have that on my wall if I were you. That's awesome.
It's AI.
Yeah. From 2001.
No, it's CI,
That's awesome.
Casey Intelligence. I
you
took
go.
that picture. I
Big
took
deal.
it. It was.
God, that's awesome. Okay, so those are the stills that I grabbed, but I've got more than stills. We've got some videos too here. Gotta find them where I put them. I think. Here we go. Joe, you get your own folder.
All right.
Okay, so we're gonna watch a couple runs that you made your car. Then I got one at the end that we could do some show and tell on, and that's why the wheels and tires are behind you there. And been really anxious to do this, but let's start with some that went a little better.
Well, now Joe Hartley will come up alongside Terry Haddock.
He's a baby.
Young you are.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
2008.
He was born in '76 or what? 30?
You looked at me to do math? I don't do that, Judy.
Boom.
22.
God, that's awesome. Ah,
And it's pretty at night, and then you got the water in the air, and
Wow.
you get those vortices coming off of the wing.
So
and look
this
at
is still
that.
quarter mile racing.
397
This is
with
not
Joe.
1,000 foot.
That's good enough
Yep.
for number one.
Wow.
Down the track in the first section of Top
We
Fuel
viewed
qualifying.
this before we started, and I said, if that doesn't make you aroused. Something is wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, I have some adrenaline flowing right now. I'm just letting you know. Got a little tingling going on. It's feeling good.
Joe does not watch racing. He does not.
He doesn't. He does not
He does
anymore.
not watch racing at all. I put it on sometimes, and he'll see it, but
Gets me jacked up, man. I can't do
he
it.
does.
When I quit, I never watched it. I never went to a race. I
never
ever
did.
All agreed that spectating kind of with all possible respect for what you've done. It's so hard to watch others do it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're on fire?
Yep.
Oh, crap.
That was pretty regular. That was pretty
Yeah.
regular.
Yeah, what's the point?
Yeah.
The blower's a little loose.
Yeah, we pop
That
that a lot,
scoop,
too.
the scoop is a little off and
Yeah, I
a
noticed
little
that.
tilted
It's
forward.
floppy, if you will.
For those that may not know, in fairness, the blower's bolted to the manifold with aluminum studs. That's the breakaway point on purpose.
Yep. Oh, absolutely.
That was a
Care a
great
bunch of other
video.
crap up if you don't. Oh, that's so cool. What do we got next? The audio's not great on this one.
Is that Kristen?
That's
No.
in
Larry Dixon.
Larry
Dixon.
Dixon and the Alan Nobby
Oh, that's what we just saw.
unlimited budget car.
Yes, thank you.
And they had a lot of money. Holy moly. I got to interview Larry for
Qatar.
Yes, that's right.
Qatar.
That's right.
Qatar, that's where it comes from. Well, they say Qatar TV now.
Yes.
That sounds like a spaceship.
Where is this? Do you know?
That's Qatar.
I want to say that's Chicago, Joliet, because they kind of had the wraparound stadium. It was really cool to roll
Yeah.
through there.
But here's
We
a
went to
great
the first.
racetrack.
We went to the
Well,
first
I'll
race.
tell
there.
you what though,
I can't
I've seen this video, so I'll talk through it a little bit
Yeah,
here.
please.
I was racing. It was I don't know what year it was, but I was in Top Fuel. I was in that right-hand lane, and we're going down, and it's like we're going. I think it was either last qualifier or second last. It's like we got to make it in, right?
Gotta get a show.
I'm going down the track. It's about a little past half track. And there's a bump. I hit
Unloads.
the bump. And all of a sudden my head comes down, and then my head straight up.
Wow.
Snap my chin strap.
No way.
This is the scariest.
Well, this one wasn't as scary.
The
but,
second scariest.
So I'm like, my head's up, and I'm not lifting because I know we have to get in.
Of course.
And so I finally pull my head back down. I'm heading to the start. I'm like, okay, I got to pull it back.
Oh my gosh.
Ended up getting in. I think we didn't only ran like a 488 or something, but it was
You
enough
got to
to
do what you
qualify
got to
there.
do.
Okay, context.
Yeah,
Not
show
everybody
that
understands how
chin
this
strap
works.
spot.
But that's what that clip's for in the front is a chin strap. And I'm a top fuel car, but I tell you, even an A fuel car, your head weighs X plus the weight of the damn helmet times about 4 or 5, depending how hard you lead.
Yeah.
It's really hard to hold your head up. And when your head hits that cage, it transmits the vibration so badly,
Yeah.
you don't even know what lane you're in.
Yeah.
So I always would tell people say, what's it like to drive one? I don't know about that, but I tell you mine, it felt like getting rear-ended by a school bus going 100 miles an hour with your head in a paint shaker.
And how does nobody can experience
No.
that, right? But that's exactly how I explain it too.
Yes, it's nuts.
Wow.
So cool. So that chin strap is not optional
Yes.
equipment.
No, it is
No.
essential.
Yeah, or you don't know where you're
I've
at.
There's
had
no
one
way.
bust too.
Yeah.
But I
Oh.
wasn't able to pull my head back down like
Oh
you
my
were.
word.
I just wasn't
Yeah.
going to give up. So
That's fantastic.
I don't
I don't know if it's smart or not, but
Brainerd, 2009. When did you get out?
that was my last year
Yep.
racing.
Our daughter was 2 at that point.
Yeah. No. Yeah, 2009, because 2010 I started doing the house thing, and we started leasing the car out. Like Rhonda Hartman rented it, Ron August rented it a few times. We tried it out, and it just didn't work out. Now that car runs as an A-fuel car for Gary Cooper's son,
Gary
Aaron
Cooper.
Cooper. They hold the speed record.
Oh,
A-fuel right now in that car as an A-fuel car.
That's awesome.
Or they went like 289 or something.
That's
A-fuel.
nuts.
Isn't that nuts?
Nuts.
They're out of Kansas now.
Well, nobody ever wishes anybody bad luck, but that keeps
All right, so
Brainerd is the best track ever, though. That was
really,
it's so much fun. Have you ever been?
I've not.
I don't know
Where?
if they still have the zoo.
They do. I'm
The
familiar with it.
zoo.
Oh, my
Whatever you're talking
Lord.
about.
You should make one trip.
You
out
have
there.
to, just one time.
It's just so far up in Minnesota.
was-
You're out in the middle of nowhere.
Brainerd
It's
was
an
Brainerd
absolute
was the
race.
race
It's really
that
kind of
Kristen got out of the car, and who did you run? A big guy. I can't
Oh,
remember the name.
Vandergriff?
Huh?
Oh, no.
Herbert, Doug Herbert's a big guy.
Doug Herbert.
Hey, he's a
Krista
big
got out, and
He burned me
he
down.
burned her
one.
down,
Really?
and she went up to him and said, "Don't." I said, "Why did you do that?" She said, "Well, Corey McClenathan told me to."
Yep.
Oh wow. Wow.
I had words with him
We all
as
knew the
well.
burn down
A
at the
different
starting line,
time.
but he
Nobody
gave them milk
wants-
and they got shut off.
Nobody wants words with Carrie. But I never was old enough to go to like the animal. What was it?
The zoo.
The
The
zoo.
zoo.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Rigs
We had
drive
so
people
much
around
fun.
on
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
Oh
I think
yeah.
I went once.
Barrel
Carrie snuck
fights,
me
all
in. or
That was the
something.
first time we ever saw like a picnic table with wheels.
Yes.
You remember? That was like, and we see them in everywhere now, but I swear Brainerd came up with that.
And they would race like snowmobiles.
Yeah,
Put a
that's
swing
right.
on them and race them to the track.
Oh my
I'm
God!
like,
And
what
the
is-
Drag race
bonfire
snowmobile.
that, yeah,
Yeah,
we
that's
did
right.
take you one year.
right.
We had to disguise you,
Yeah,
I
I
think.
wore like a baseball cap.
If we got real deep, there was a lot of 55-gallon drums that we'd have like, it's like jousting with 55-gallon drums. So big enough guys would come and
Yep.
slam
And
it.
it's
each other.
The
huge.
bonfire
Oh my
was
gosh,
the
it was
biggest
insane.
bonfire I've
Huge
ever
fun.
seen.
You got to get
Very
out there. You got to get out there. I don't know if it's
Yeah,
still
I
like
can
that,
tell.
but it was.
There
fun.
were people there who were shit-faced that never recovered through the entire race.
Oh no!
Stay
Oh
there
no!
all the
We'd see him being wheeled through.
It's a lot.
Well, and you'd have the pleasure. You know, some of the NHRA sponsors were less than family oriented.
Yeah.
And it would get
Budweiser.
people-
Oh, sorry. I probably
Thinking of
shouldn't do that.
another.
Penthouse with
That was the one that came to mind. And like you get
What
these
year,
folks
though?
with
Frankie
like
Pedregon.
yes.
that sponsor and a little liquor in them, and like my
What could
elbow
possibly go
was
wrong?
working overtime. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's not the kind of picture you get to take with me, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's hilarious. So that brings me to the last video here, which is less glamorous but really important.
Oh boy.
What happened? Well, it didn't go quite so
Joe
well.
Hartley comes out and watch the right rear tire.
Boom.
Oops, it won't run that way. And watch what happens to
I
Joe.
said earlier, watching this
Now
just
right
killed me.
here,
I
the
can see
throttle
the cubic
stick.
dollars
He
that
is
he destroyed.
slowing down the
Oh,
racetrack.
God.
Finally, he gets the kill switch.
But somehow it pulled the
Let's take another
throttle.
look at that one.
Yeah, so like hit the throttle, you can if you backed up there a little bit, but you can see like I felt it shaking. I lifted, I was gonna pedal it, and you'll see a little, you see that little blurb, but you can just see it on the computer. And I realized something doesn't feel quite right. And then I saw the tires flying past me, and I was like, definitely not good. And I
Excuse
thought-
me, was that my tire?
Yeah, yeah, I'm like, not good.
Was
I
that my
felt the
tire?
rim kind of, the brake pedal or caliper dig in, and I was like, okay, this thing's spinning around. I'm like, just try to straighten it out and just drive it backwards.
Right.
Obviously didn't happen.
Didn't work that way.
And then I thought, okay, I'm going to go over that wall, and so, kind of prepare for just, barrel rolling down. And I'm thinking, okay, you're going over, and then it kind of just hung there, and I was like, I was kind of dazed a little bit, and one of the guys hops on the radio, like, shut it down. That's when I'm just hitting all the levers, and it come down. But what had happened is it smashed the injector, which basically, like, opened it wide throttle again, and then with the one tire, was just driving me down the track, hung on there. It was, I didn't know where I was at, because it was just such a weird
If
orientation.
the throttle's
but-
open on these things, it doesn't matter what you do with the brakes or the shoes. The
No,
thing's going.
no. So it
That's
was kill. You just had to hit everything. Just
It
shut
was
it
interesting
down.
hearing you
There
say
you go.
that
That's the problem.
your
Yep.
reaction was to
Those are
go
two
like
steps
this.
there.
Look
Because,
at-
like, back when Keith Stark or other
Oh,
people,
wow, yeah,
like,
yeah.
he grabbed onto the roll cage, I think,
Yeah.
and he lost some fingers.
And that
Yep.
is that is why mentally, because like I don't know about everybody else, but I would run a million passes in
Yes,
my mind, right?
yes.
Like, what am I going to do if this happened?
right.
And that was Keith said he reached up to grab that when he was rolling, and he lost a couple fingers because of that. So he said, don't do that. Grab your straps.
Wow.
So that's how 2 crashes. That's what I did.
Wow, that's awesome.
This
So
Hartley
now they're
family-
going to show
Hartley family drags
specifically
around. You
what
can see the
happened,
top
why
wing
it happened.
pretty well banged up. The top
that's
wing,
what we're gonna
gonna
talk
need a
about
new
here
one of
next.
those.
We have a
It all is
show
because
and
of the
tell.
wheel studs here, just like you said, Mike. Now to give you an idea, let's look at the left side of this race car and show you how big
This
a
is
wheel
the same
stud
rear end I have in
actually
my car
is.
now.
It
Can
goes
tell
in through
two
the
person
drive hub
graduated a bigger
a full
one.
4.5
It's exactly
inches.
like that with
This
those
is
wheel
what normally
studs.
sticks out. Well, if you take a look at the right side of that car,
Something
you're going to
like
see
the left.
exactly where all of those bolts have been
Boom,
sheared off. In
gone.
fact, we can give you an idea how far into that drive hub they sheared off with the help right here. Mike, that's almost a full, more than 3/4 of an inch deep into there. Did talk with some of the team guys. Normally one of the leading culprits of that are some loose nuts that hold on the wheel, but I talked to the team. They watched them tighten the nuts and say that is
That
not
wasn't
the
it.
problem.
It shook.
It just, well, it was a maintenance issue.
Here's Alan.
We weren't cycling our studs through often enough because you had to cycle them through, and I think one had, I think specifically that one, we started to get kind of a wear on it, and then
Yeah.
and it finally
Put a run at it or
Yeah, and so once one snaps, then the rest will go, type of thing. And so it was like a routine. You're supposed to change them every so many runs.
So
And
there's
we
a
just
huge
were out of
difference between
routine.
top fuel and A fuel. We've never changed our wheel studs ever. And folks probably also ought to know, that's not tool steel. They're made out of aluminum.
Yeah, yeah.
Crazy, and the nuts are aluminum go on them.
Yeah.
So, but the point is, back then, the tires and wheels on this top fuel car are driven by the wheel studs.
Right.
Okay, they don't do it that way anymore, and we have a graphic show and tell. So the wheel design has changed by rule since you had that ever so unfortunate incident. But this is the style of wheels that were used at that time, and I know because we had them on my car forever until they were illegal. But the point is, what drives them is those wheel studs. So all that horsepower has got to be transmitted through those studs, and then and if you got good traction, that's a lot of load on those darn things. Absolutely. Well, there's a rule change a couple of years ago that required that the top fuel cars could no longer drive the wheel from the studs. So how do they do it? The wheels have a female recess and the hubs have a male. So now it's not driven off the wheel studs anymore. They're just there to keep the wheel and tire on the car. But those female recess areas are mated into with a male off the hub. So it's driven off of that. Well, now that'll work. Absolutely. And if you'd had that, you wouldn't have that problem.
Never would have happened.
But I just thought, as I watched, I thought, oh my God, I can show how this actually worked. It's crazy. So that's how they fixed it. So often in drag racing, every time there's an incident where somebody gets hurt or something bad happens, there's a new rule change, and it's typically for the better, even though it can be a pain to try to implement. But
yeah, we always referred to NHRA as being a reactive organization versus proactive. And, at times they've made some extra changes, but yeah, it's always kind of been that style,
So we had to lose Scott Coletta before they had the ability to shut the cars off.
Right.
So now Dave Leahy owns Electromotion, and now when we pass that finish line, you got about 100 feet, shut that car off, and if you don't, it will. There's a safety box function in it that'll shut off the ignition, and there's a bimba that'll, air cylinder that'll throw the fuel, and another one throw the parachutes. So it's not driver dependent anymore, and if we'd had that, we probably would still have Scott to this day.
Absolutely. I mean, we can go on for...
Darrell Russell.
Darrell Russell was the shield beam in the head. You've got the big pads on the side. That was Eric Medlin.
Eric Medlin.
So many of the cars with the breakaways, from different stuff. The way they shut the tracks down at the end. That's Brian Johnson. There's so many, it's the sand pits. All that different stuff.
It should have never happened to Blaine, but there's an opening in the wall, and so instead of bouncing left and right, where it's not that big a deal, tears your car up, but you'll live.
We were at the track that day.
Really? 96 at Indy.
Yeah, matter of fact, I stood next to the motorcycle guy when they fired his bike up when he went off and died.
Oh my God! But hitting that abutment like that at a bazillion miles an hour, what did you think was going to happen?
Yep.
Same thing with Scott with that crane that was on the inside, should have been the outside.
Absolutely.
Just stupid stuff.
Actually, Automan took discs over to Blaine that he cut before he got in the car and made that run.
Wow. Oh my God. Yeah. So, but all the way back to Garlitz, who didn't invent the rear engine car, but he made it work when nobody else could figure it out, and it was the steering ratio.
Exactly right.
It was way too aggressive, and they couldn't control it. Fix that, and now I've got a chance to survive in this stuff because somebody paid their dues long before I was around. And it's just amazing. So anyway, I just thought it was a cool story to share from something that actually happened to you.
Yeah.
Dang, that is so cool. So anyway, it's time to wrap this up. I'm going to show you what Carrie brought to me. This is so cool. I'm going to get this so it shows up. But the official Kristen Powell shirt and signed. You signed that just this week, right? Not so much. Long time ago.
You
but
signed it when she was 17, though.
There you go. That's the point. Is she's driving big show cars back as a kid. It's just amazing. So I will treasure this forever. I'll probably have it framed. It's just awesome. So thank you so much. Are there any other stories we need to finish with?
The T-shirt that I really liked was one we made that said, "Drive like a girl, you wish."
That's awesome. Very true. You guys have accomplished so much in the sport that has changed it forever, and your contribution to it with massive investment of money and time and effort and blood and sweat and tears is incredible, and we benefit now.
All of the above.
Yeah, and big buckets of it. So I'm just honored that you guys would show up today and tell stories with me for a little while. It's just a hoot, but this is what it's about. I always expect there to be some black swan that comes out. I didn't know it would be about you and cancer. But that's a story that just moves me to my soul, and how you guys came together and bonded over that. It's just priceless. And I love all the drag racing stuff, but oh my God, that's incredible.
Well, it
What
was
a
woven
story.
right in with all of it.
It is.
all of it.
It was.
It's all part of it. So I'm just thrilled you guys would be here and spend this time with me. You guys are amazing. You're my rock star heroes now.
New friends.
Indeed, indeed. So
Thank you for having
bless
us,
you
Greg.
so much. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Appreciate you guys so much. So we'll call her an evening here, I guess, unless you got any other stories you want to tell that are dark,
Oh,
dirty
I'm
secrets.
sure there's nothing else we need
No,
to
there
talk
are
about.
no more stories exist. Wow. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for showing up and being part of the Cool Kids Club that we have. This is what it's about. You want authenticity? Get any more authentic than that, for God's sake. It's awesome. For the good and the bad, the hard times, the good times. When we turn on wind lights and we take the wheel studs off and crash the car, you know, we're still family. We do this together.
Absolutely.
It's awesome. So God bless you guys. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Good times with great people at 270 or 311 miles an hour.
330.88 if anybody's counting.
330 or 330. Wow.
330, yeah.
I was the 311.
You were the 311. Wow.
What are they doing now? 340 and 1,000 feet?
1,000 feet. And now they got the 300 mile an hour club at half track.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That is
These
nuts.
kids.
I knit really fast.
And I'm in
awesome.
bed by 9:30.
Yeah. I get it. Wow, bless you. Thank you guys. This is awesome. I so appreciate y'all.
Greg.
Sorry that we all talk too much.
Thanks for what you
This is
do.
what we need. I appreciate it. This is going to take us a day or two to edit. I'm thinking there's a lot.
26.
But
A week or so.
it will be cool.